On the banks of the Ohio River, Cincinnati, the Queen City, where Oklahoma zealots travel in hopes of seeing a regal performance by their Sooners. As for Cincinnati, Paul Brown Stadium is their home away from home today, where they hope to buff up the shine on their recent history. Welcome, everyone, to ESPN2's College Football Primetime as we come to you today from Paul Brown Stadium in Cincinnati, Ohio. It's the second meeting all time between the Bearcats and the Sooners. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davey. Thanks for coming aboard. And Bob, when you look at the headlines in this game, Oklahoma comes in a perfect 3-0. But how suspect is that record?
Well, honestly, it's been kind of a mixed bag for Oklahoma. They looked dominant in their blowout win against Florida State, but they looked a little vulnerable in two close wins against Utah State and Air Force. Let's see tonight if they can put it all together on the road.
Cincinnati Bearcats, meanwhile, coming off a loss about 10 days ago against North Carolina State. A lot of expectations here in the Queen City.
Well, the perception is because Cincinnati's won 2 straight Big East titles that they're underachieving a little bit. But I think the reality, they've played an extremely tough schedule. They have a totally new coaching staff, and they lost some good players from last year. But, Mark, it doesn't get any easier tonight with the Sooners in town.
Sooners coming off just a 3-point victory last week. Oklahoma has won the toss and decides to receive the kick. Jake Rogers kick, and we are underway here in Cincinnati. Moses Madu watches it bounce through the back of the end zone, and the Sooners will start off first down and 10 from their own 20-yard line. And that's where their starting quarterback, Landry Jones, will take the reins of this offense. Jones threw 26 touchdowns a season ago against an alarmingly high 14 interceptions. But the good news is, for his youth, he's 7-3 as a starting quarterback. Jones trying to live up some of the lofty expectations of his predecessors that played that position. First down and 10. Little toss there to DeMarco Murray into the boundary. And Bob, let's take a look at our impact players.
Yeah, it's easy to pick out Oklahoma's impact players because both average over 100 yards a game on offense. DeMarco Murray, probably the best dual threat running back in the country. Ryan Broyles, OU's most exciting player on the entire roster. You see him already in this hurry-up offense right here. Something the Cincinnati defense struggled with. An impact player for Cincinnati, Derek Wolfe, their defensive tackle. Their best player played over 90 snaps against North Carolina State last week.
That's a lot of reps. Meanwhile, Broyles with that catch, his 30th consecutive game with a reception. First down and 10 after that catch. Tempo will be a big key in this game, and how Cincinnati deals with it by the Sooners offensively. Murray again trying to get to the edge. And Murray run out of bounds after a gain of about 2 by Dominique Battle. Let's take a look at this defense now. Pardon me, the offense still for the Oklahoma Sooners. We talked about Jones, Broyles, and Murray. Cameron Kenny is the second leading receiver. Kenny Stills is a talented freshman from San Diego. Jones incomplete and almost intercepted at the 45. Intended for Ryan Broyles.
And there's a reason for this up-tempo offense for Oklahoma. Normally they're no huddle. They will even be faster today because Cincinnati, with a new defensive staff, new defensive terminology, struggled against North Carolina State just getting lined up.
3rd and 7. Jones incomplete. And they'll have to punt on 4th down. James Hanna was the intended receiver.
Good pressure by Derek Wolfe. 7 career sacks for the big defensive tackle.
Tress Way now onto the field for the Sooners, standing at his own 19-yard line. DJ Woods back deep for the Bearcats at his own 26. Way, the second leading punter in the nation. His average almost 49 yards per punt. A high spiral that comes down at the 28. Woods with a nice seam. And into Oklahoma territory at the 46-yard line. There's a flag down, though, on the play. But a nice return that time by DJ Woods. A 39-yard punt.
The runner went out of bounds. Personal foul. Unnecessary roughness on the kicking team, number 30. 15-yard penalty. First down.
So they'll tack 15 more yards onto that 26-yard punt return.
That's why statistics, they say, are for losers sometimes. Oklahoma came into this game third in the nation in net punting. Cincinnati 83rd in punt returns. Tress Way hit kind of a low line driver, then gets the late hit out of bounds.
Moves the ball all the way down to the 32-yard line. That's where Zach Collaros will guide this Bearcat offense, working out of the shotgun. The 6-foot junior with Williams and Pete in the backfield. Pass incomplete. It'll be second down and 10, and there's a look at the starting quarterback. Zach Collaros completing 61% of his passes on the season so far, 6 touchdowns and no interceptions.
And he's right at 6 foot tall. You can see on that first play why it's so important to move him around and change the launch point, because he gets some balls batted down at 6 foot tall.
Little receiver screen, and Woods got the wood put on him at the 34. DJ Woods got nailed as he caught it at the 35-yard line by DeMontre Hurst, a loss of 1.
These corners from Oklahoma, a lot of people were concerned coming into the season. DeMontre Hurst, only 5'9", the field corner. Big hit on DJ Woods right there.
Yeah, Woods going to the sidelines, obviously a little shaken up. 3rd and 11 for Cincinnati. Wide open. 1st and goal. Anthony McClung. Great poise by Collaros at quarterback.
It all starts with the pass protection, but watch McClung right here. He's going to run a wheel route. Corner bites inside. The freshman nickelback number 1, Tony Jefferson, didn't run with the second man through his zone.
1st and goal from the 8. High snap. Collaros, boy, he made lemonade out of lemons that time. Got down to the 5-yard line. A pickup of 3. Bob, let's take a look at our impact players, and good to see Pete back.
Yeah, to slow Oklahoma's defense down, Cincinnati has to be able to run the ball. Good news, you said it. Isaiah Pete is back healthy for the first time. At wide receiver DJ Woods, he has to get the ball a lot of different ways. Screens, reverses. And the big question, how do they pass protect Jeremy Beal? Cincinnati's given up more sacks than anybody in the country so far this season in college football.
There's a look at Beal, the leader defensively for Oklahoma. There was a penalty against the Sooners on that last play. A personal foul.
Boy, upset Saturday, huh, in college football? So far, we're following the script right here in Paul Brown Stadium early.
Yeah, the tenor has been set. Arkansas leading by 6 against Alabama, and Penn State a tenuous lead of 2 points against Temple. We have a temporarily delay down on the field. Nose of the ball resting at about the 2-yard line. Bob Stoops, the head coach of Oklahoma, in his 12th season. 1st and goal. Woods brought down right around the line of scrimmage. If you're a Bearcat supporter, good to see Woods back in the ball game. Quentin Carter made the stop. No gain on the play. It'll be 2nd down and goal. Bob, can they run wide on that fast Oklahoma defense?
Brings up a great point. Normally against a speed defense like Oklahoma, you're better off coming right downhill. But DJ Woods, such a dynamic player, he may be the guy that can take it east and west.
They've been proficient in the red zone this year. Claros keeps it, nowhere to go. Stone cold at the 5-yard line. And it'll be 3rd down and goal coming up. Big hit by Stacy McGee on that defensive line.
If you're Cincinnati, Zach Claros, 52 carries. He is by far their leading ball carrier. Keep him healthy. He can't take many shots like that.
3rd and goal for the Bearcats. Woods in motion. Claros incomplete in the back of the end zone, intended for Anthony McClung, and it's 4th and goal. And in comes the field goal unit, broken up nicely that time in the secondary. Tom Ward was in the area for the Sooners defensively.
Let's take a look at Alex Hoffman, the right tackle right here. They actually moved him from guard to tackle to match up with Jeremy Beal. Good job of competing right there by Alex Hoffman.
And here's Jacob Rogers in to attempt this field goal from 22 yards out. And the Cincinnati Bearcats able to put some points on the board, much to the delight of their head coach, Butch Jones. They lead by a field goal when we return. Cincinnati Bearcats lead the number 8 Oklahoma Sooners by a score of 3-0. Just underway here in the first quarter from the Queen City Paul Brown Stadium. Today the Bearcats home away from home. They usually play some 4 miles from here at Nippert Stadium. There's a look at the new head coach, Butch Jones, his first season at Cincinnati, coming over from Central Michigan University. Last time that the Bearcats played here was 2002 against the Ohio State Buckeyes, nearly upsetting Ohio State. Rogers kicking off for the 2nd time. And Murray watches it go out of the back of the end zone. Let's check in with Wendy Nix back in the studio.
Mark, thank you very much. We'll check in with the number 1 team in the country, Alabama, on the ropes. Good news here, though. Greg McElroy to Trent Richardson, cutting the deficit. It's now 20-14, though. 14+ left to play in the 4th quarter. They're not the only team in trouble. Penn State leading Temple, but Texas, the number 7 Longhorns, in real trouble. UCLA 27, Texas 6.
Well, Wendy, I don't think Oklahoma Sooner fans here in Cincinnati would be too worried about Texas struggles right now. They're probably happy about it. Landry Jones firing incomplete, intended for DeJuan Miller. Coach Jones, the new head coach for the Cincinnati Bearcats, Bob, has to like the start that his team is off to. He says that last year they had a lot of role players who must now be star and main players.
And I tell you, they've had to be main players against a very difficult schedule early in this season.
2nd down and 10. Jones completes it out to the 29-yard line to Trey Millard, picking up 9 yards on the play.
The whole Stoops family. Bob Stoops from Youngstown, Ohio, went to Cardinal Mooney High School. His mom, Dee Dee, 2 sisters, rented a bus. What do you tell us, 30 or 40 Stoops members here today watching this game?
Homecoming. 3rd down and 2. Murray on the carry, and he gets the 1st down across the 30. Out to the 32-yard line, stopped up by Brandon Mills. DeMarco Murray, though, last week against Air Force Academy had 110 yards rushing and 38 yards receiving. Jones, little bootleg complete. Millard with a reception and a 1st down again for the Oklahoma Sooners.
And this is what really hurt Cincinnati last week. Anytime you have a new defense with new terminology for players, Oklahoma taking advantage of maybe a little bit of miscommunication and getting up there and snapping the football.
Murray between the tackles, putting his hat down and making it close to the 45-yard line. Malik Bomar making the stop on the play for the Bearcats, a gain of about 5.
Good block by Trey Millard, the fullback. DeMarco Murray, a big physical guy, equally as adept at catching the ball as running the ball. Impressive football player.
Jones looking over to the sidelines. Murray again. Gained about a yard on the play. Bomar again tripping him up to make the stop. A gain of about 2.
You can see how difficult it is for the defense. When one time Oklahoma gets up there and snaps that ball almost immediately, the next time they get up there and act like they're going to snap it immediately and then wait. That's very taxing on a defense.
3rd and 3. Jones converts it for the first down to the 33-yard line to Ryan Broyles. The leading receiver coming in with his 2nd catch. This one good for 12 yards.
You can see Landry Jones, much experienced more than his years. You know, only a redshirt sophomore, but that time, instead of just scrambling out of that pocket like a lot of guys do, steps up and finds Ryan Broyles.
From the 33. Wide open out of the backfield. Warren stopped up by Cheatham that time. Murray stopped by Cheatham, picks up 6. Talk about Murray's versatility, showing it early here, Bob.
Yeah, you know, 41 catches last year, 31 catches the year before. I mean, he's a wide receiver playing tailback.
Here's Broyles. I like to move him around. Pushed out of bounds by Pat Lambert.
This is like full court press in basketball. I mean, Oklahoma just keeping that tempo going on Cincinnati.
Talked about the fatigue factor last week for Cincinnati defensively. All the snaps they're on the field. Jones completes another one over the middle. All the way down near the 5-yard line. Ryan Broyles again picks up 11, and it's 1st and goal for the Sooners.
Averaged 10 catches a game for almost 130 yards. That's why I said with impact players, it's pretty easy. DeMarco Murray, Ryan Broyles for Oklahoma.
Jones completed about the 3-yard line to Cameron Kenny. The senior picks up 3. It'll be 2nd down and goal. That's Kenny's first catch, the 2nd leading receiver on this team. From the 3.
Here's where you want to go fast, but not too fast if you're Oklahoma. Execute on the goal line.
And a great tackle in the backfield on Murray. A flag down on the play, though. Reuben Johnson knifing in there to chop down DeMarco Murray for a loss.
Offside on the defense, number 58.
Maybe that's why they got there so quickly.
That's the constant pressure of this no-huddle fast break offense. It puts so much stress on a defensive football team, particularly those guys up front that have to be in that 3-point stance for an extended period of time on defense.
Backs lining up out of the eye. Two tight end formation. Hanna and Reddery. Murray gets the call. And he got it with a 2nd effort. Touchdown Sooners.
Not many guys in the country can play like a wide receiver in space and then run with the power you see right there. That's why DeMarco Murray is a unique guy.
For the first time in a while, Murray healthy during the offseason, able to practice at a high level because of it, and the results showing on the field so far this year. Stevens in for the extra point. And the Sooners leading 7-3. I have a little bit of a surprise for you on the other side. Tell you about Batman and Robbins whereabouts.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Doritos.
One of the great things about a collegiate player playing in a pro stadium, you see the pro influence right in front of you. That was Batman and AKA earlier today, Terrell Owens, coming in to take in practice at meetings. Member of the Cincinnati Bengals. Got his. He really does have his own. He needs a bat cave though, Bob, not just a parking spot.
I have to wonder, how about his running mate?
Yeah.
I'm sure his running mate has a special spot as well, too, right?
We'll tell you about Robin on the other side of this. Press Way kicking off to Darren Williams.
This is a beautiful stadium, Paul Brown Stadium right here in Cincinnati. Actually spent some time in Paul Brown's personal booth. I was going to come and get you before the game.
I know you really looked hard for me. Kick coming down at about the 11-yard line. That's Darren Williams, backup tailback. And Williams brought down at about the 23-yard line. Mark Jones along with Bob Davies, second meeting all time between these two teams. And Bob, for Oklahoma, they went 2-5 on the road last year. How tough is it for them coming into Paul Brown Stadium?
Yeah, I mean, 5 losses all on the road last year for Oklahoma. But I think it helps that this game is not at Nippert Stadium. You know, Cincinnati's won 13 straight games at Nippert. And you mentioned it. College guys love coming into pro stadiums and playing. I think it really helps Oklahoma to be playing them right here in this beautiful stadium.
Cincinnati coming into this game, although it's not a home game per se, with a 17-game non-conference home winning streak. So you wonder how much that home field advantage actually has an effect for Coach Jones today in the Bearcats. 6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, and they trail 7-3. Little receiver screen. Caleros completes it to Pede, and let's go back to Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thank you. It's a Taco Bell studio update. Terrell Pryor produced 6 touchdowns, so he got some time off for the Buckeyes. Backup QB Joe Bowerman, a 20-yard connection to Jordan Hall. 59-20, Ohio State with the lead.
All those Ohio State fans can come watch the Bearcats now.
Switch it over.
Because in a city like this, there's a bunch of Ohio State fans.
Watch Caleros do his thing. That pass by Caleros incomplete. Broken up nicely by Quentin Carter. And it'll be 3rd down for Cincinnati. Caleros coming into this season hadn't lost a game as a starter in high school or collegiately. Went 4-0 as a starter last year, filling in for the injured Tony Pike.
Well, when you're quarterback at Steubenville, Big Red, you don't lose many games. That is a great program, Steubenville, Ohio. But let's see pass protection right here. You see Oklahoma with a bunch of players standing up on defense.
Well, they give them time. In tight quarters and broken up at the 40-yard line, intended for Armand Binns, and Fleming was there to knock it away. Jamil Fleming with a nice play, and it's 4th down for Cincinnati.
A little surprised they're not moving Zach Caleros a little bit in the pocket. Look at Brett Venables right there, the defensive coordinator. This Oklahoma defense going to find out a lot about themselves today. We mentioned they struggled against Utah State, gave up about 350 yards passing. Struggled against Air Force, gave up 350 rushing. They need to put it all together today.
Pat O'Donnell punting from his own 15. Ryan Broyles standing in his own 27 for Oklahoma. Little rugby-style punt here. And O'Donnell gets off a line drive to the 19. Broyles. Some nice footwork out to the 32-yard line. Well, we talked about Batman, and, well, his counterpart, or Robin, there's the parking spot. But something's missing, Bob.
It's what's
Oh, there it was later. That's a nice whip.
Wow.
That is a nice whip.
That looks like a Mark Jones wannabe signature edition right there.
We can't get
that. Is your fantasy right there.
You can't get that at the rental car at National when we come into town. Haven't seen those. Anything close to that.
I don't think that $150 fine late for the meeting is going to be much impact on those guys, do you?
Landry Jones completes the pass out of the backfield to Murray. And Murray picks up about 4 yards on the play.
But interesting, before the game, I talked to Jim Lippincott, longtime Cincinnati scout in the organization. He said those two guys right there are the two hardest working guys in the Bengal organization. Nobody works harder than Batman and Robin. I guess they deserve those parking spots because it all comes down to that.
I'll tell you this, they had some really good reality shows that I just finished watching too. Out to the 40, gain of 5 by Murray. And speaking of the NFL, next week 2 undefeated rivals battle for sole possession of first place in the NFC North. Green Bay taking on Chicago. ESPN's Monday Night Football, 8:30 Eastern time, and coverage begins at 7 Eastern with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. 3rd and short. Oklahoma continues to move the chains. Murray picks up 3. Got a nice block from Millard, the fullback.
What you love about Oklahoma, as much as their spread, no huddle, throwing it all over the field, they're one of the few schools that also have the ability to line up in old school I-backs and power the football. So their spread and power, that's a tough combination to defend.
They get into this game with a record of 3-0. Jones complete to the freshman Kenny Stills, one of several talented players out of the San Diego area on the Sooner roster.
Going to San Diego, getting 2 freshmen to come in and start for you as freshmen at Oklahoma.
Here's Murray. Murray down to the 43. Stopped by J.K. Schaefer. Talk about the great lineage of Marco Murray. His dad, Kevin, played college football at a small college in California. Had an older brother who also played football.
You know, his stamina is so much better this year because he went through spring practice. He went through all fall practice.
And they go to him again, testing that stamina, Bob. Not that much blocking up front. Stopped by Schaefer. No gain on the play for DeMarco Murray. 3rd and long coming up for Oklahoma.
Cincinnati defense switched to a 4-3. They've not had much pass pressure this year. They've really had a problem with 4-man rush generating pressure. See if they come after him a little bit right here.
Jones with plenty of time. And the Sooners convert and get another first down at the 34-yard line. Moses Madu picks up 9 before being stopped by Reuben Johnson. That's the 10th completion in a row for Jones at quarterback. He's got a hot hand.
And you take Moses Madu, who played receiver last year. You move him back to running back, another DeMarco Murray type that catches as well as he runs. I mean, great versatility in the backfield for Oklahoma.
Out of the backfield, complete to Madu. Nice little shake out there, out to the 35-yard line. Got back to right about the line of scrimmage where Walter Stewart pushed him out of bounds. Maybe a loss of 1 on the play. Jones complete. And 1st and goal from the 7. Stills with a catch.
How did that guy get out of San Diego? I mean, from San Diego to Norman, Oklahoma, missed 6 days of camp, Kenny Stills, but boy, he is a talented guy. Now that's body control, doing that complete pirouette right there and catching that underthrown football.
1st and goal, Murray. Stopped just inside the 5 of the 4-yard line by Schaefer. Picked up 2 on the play. And Bob, you already get the feeling it's going to be a long day on the field for that Cincinnati defense.
And one thing that's always a little bit controversial, and maybe because I'm a defensive coach, I think sometimes you use timeouts. I think if you're Cincinnati right here, you got a bunch of guys having a hard time getting lined up, take a timeout.
Jones wide open, touchdown Broyles.
Look how tired the Cincinnati players are. That was basically give up.
See a few hands on hips down there on the field.
Yeah, just watch this right, Mark. It's really uncontested. I mean, no pass rush. You're going to see a bunch of guys just standing around after this play. That's why I'd say don't save those timeouts. You can use them on defense, too.
Fourth touchdown catch of the season for Ryan Broyles. The extra point just inside that left upright. Landry Jones leading his team down to the field in a methodical, workmanlike fashion. The Sooners leading when we come back. Sooners up 14-3. Bob, tell us about the cumulative effect of this offense Oklahoma runs.
The first guy that get the effect are the defensive line from this no huddle. And I want you to watch Cincinnati's front four right here on this touchdown pass. Basically no push, and that football's thrown, no second effort by the second line of defenders. That's what no huddle hurry up offense does to a defense.
Been very efficient on the last two drives, and Jones has hit 13 consecutive passes. Chris Way going to kick off now. Cincinnati could use a big play here on special teams. They got a good punt return earlier there from number 3 DJ Woods that set up their first field goal. Woods at the 6. Flag down on the play, and lots of linen down on the field as Woods goes down to the 21-yard line.
Blocking the back, number 47 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. First down.
Wendy Nix, what's happening on Upset Saturday now?
Mark, we check in with number 1 Alabama, Greg McElroy, and what would have been the go-ahead score, sacked by Tanarius Wright. The Tide would settle for a field goal. It's now 20-17, but we've got a ball game in Fayetteville. Also, Stanford 27-6. They've just scored, went for 2 and converted. They lead Notre Dame.
What's the pulse in Boise, Idaho right now? Chris Peterson, the Boise State Broncos. This could be a great day for Boise State.
Things falling very well for them so far. 1st and 10. This is Isaiah Peed. And you see why they really needed him back offensively. Peed with a nice burst for 16 yards and a first down. He missed the North Carolina, a little bit in the North Carolina State game last Thursday, and missed most of the previous game before that against Indiana State.
Here's after you have to wonder, does UC help themselves by going hurry up offense right here?
There's Pete again, makes a nice move. And another first down at the 40-yard line. A 13-yard gain.
There's something about fresh legs. He hasn't practiced a lot. He hasn't played a lot. I know he's had some knee swelling, but he looks extremely quick right now, doesn't he?
Sure does.
Fresh legs.
He supplanted Darren Williams as the starter for this game. Hilaros wide open to Woods. DJ Woods down to the 3. Yards, 1st and goal.
Well, when you can run the ball, play action pass is a weapon for Cincinnati.
And the Sooners step in and call the timeout. And the fans coming alive, Bob. Woods with another big play for the Bearcats.
I mentioned when you can run the ball, watch what it does. They're going to a little play action fake this way. Watch these linebackers jump up, and then DJ Woods on the crossing route. This all started by Isaiah Peed running the football. Look at the linebackers jump up. There's DJ Woods, and now the speed of DJ Woods and really a touchdown-saving tackle by Jonathan Nelson. But you mentioned it, having Isaiah P. back, those 2 runs opened up that play-action pass now for DJ Woods.
Butch Jones had told us he wants to put the ball in his hands a lot more this year.
My point earlier was, there's Oklahoma running up and down the field. Do you want to go hurry up if you're Cincinnati? I guess they answered that by saying, you know what, we're going to match Oklahoma.
Game of fast breaks, I guess. 3 plays, 84 yards. Not this time. Isaiah Pete stopped up at about the 4 by Quentin Carter. Maybe gained 1 on the play. It'll be 2nd and goal. Is this where Cincinnati's going to be a little different this year, being able to run it under Coach Jones?
Well, Butch Jones told us yesterday he was very careful not to say, hey, I want to run the football a lot more than Brian Kelly did, because Brian Kelly had so much success. Nobody wants to hear that. But he did make a very good point about being more physical. So I think they are geared a little bit to run the ball better in these situations.
This time Pete is split out wide. And that's the end of the first 15 minutes of play. The Bearcats sprinting to the other end of the field. They got a little bit more giddy up in their gallop after these first 15 minutes. And the sideline gang making a little bit of noise too. .2 miles away from Paul Brown Stadium, a tranquil and serene Nippert Stadium on campus at the University of Cincinnati. Back here, 2nd and goal for Cincinnati as we begin the 2nd period of play. Paul Brown Stadium, the home away from home for the Bearcats today.
Really important for Cincinnati. I mentioned they had more sacks given up than any team in college football. They're also giving up a lot of tackles for losses. No negative plays right here.
Collaros into the end zone. Incomplete. Broken up, intended for Binns.
Jamel Fleming at 5'11" against 6'4" Armand Benz. Watch the vertical right here. Just the tenacity to stay with that football. You know, Jamel Fleming's had some academic issues, had some injuries. He is a talented guy now.
3rd and goal. Collaros buys himself a little bit of time. What a play! Touchdown! John Gable with a great catch.
I just have to say Doug Flutie. Is that not Doug Flutie right there? That takes me back several years to when I was at the University of Pittsburgh coaching against Doug Flutie. That was a tremendous effort.
And for Gable, it's the first touchdown catch of the season and of his career for the senior.
Amazing thing, Zach Collaros grew up in Steubenville, Ohio, die-hard Ohio State fan. This is all about a great individual effort right here.
That was about survival too, Bob.
Great play, great play. No chance to defend that.
Yeah.
When you have a quarterback that's that mobile and also has the presence to throw that football on the run.
You know, nobody was more distraught after their loss against North Carolina State last Thursday in a game seen on ESPN than that guy right there, Zach Collaros. He went into head coach Jones's office earlier this week after that game and really put the blame on him. But Jones said, hey, it's not your fault. We go down as a team and we win as a team. Let's check in with Wendy back in the studio.
Mark, thank you. The tide has turned literally in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Ryan Mallett played a solid game, but picked off Robert Lester's 4th interception of the season, and that will be costly for Arkansas. The ensuing drive, what do? Hand it off to the reigning Heisman Trophy winner. Mark Ingram will punch it in. Alabama with the lead.
And The extra point, no good by Cincinnati just a few moments ago, but there's a flag down on the play. The extra point was no good. Meanwhile, before we went to break, Casey Walker was the injured player for the Sooners taken off the field. Let's hear what this flag is about.
After the try, unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 96. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced on the kickoff.
Amazing. Jake Rogers, 8 missed PATs in his career.
You try and keep those things in the family, though.
Yeah.
Coach Jones getting on the perpetrator.
And Butch Jones talks a lot about family. He talks about changing the culture to Cincinnati. Even though they've had tremendous success, it's a city school. And a great story. They were out working out in the stadium. And there was a young girl jogging up the steps of the stadium, probably about right here. And she happened to have an Indiana University t-shirt on. So he sent the security, campus security, to go get her and escort her over to the UC bookstore.
She thought she was in trouble.
She thought she was in trouble. He just went to get her to go change that t-shirt, sent her over to the bookstore. Now, there's been some different opinions on that, whether he did the right thing or didn't do the right thing. But his message is well taken.
Yes.
He's trying to instill great family and pride at UC. And if you're jogging in their stadium, you ought to be at least wearing a UC Bearcat shirt, right?
Got to sport the colors. Here's the kick down to the 15-yard line to DeMarco Murray. And Murray with a good return out to the 47-yard line. Good starting field position for the Sooners. A 31-yard kickoff return. And Jones even setting the tone with the officials in this game. Just spelling things out clearly.
The Big 12 officiating crew. That side judge is giving him good attention, giving him a lot of respect right there. These officials do a great job. They listen to you. They hear you out, and then they tell you, okay, coach, you've had your chance. Enough's enough. Button it up. But they are very patient guys now.
You really think they listen to you, huh?
They give you eye contact.
Okay. Jones handed it off on the end around. The Sooners with so much corner speed. Trey Franks running at that time. Pickup of 9 on the play. So many different weapons on this versatile offense. Jones on 2nd and 1. Flags down. Wide open, complete to Kenny Stills, the freshman, still in bounds. And a great tiptoe move all the way down to the 16-yard line. Let's see if it stands.
This is a big call right here. Was Oklahoma set? Again, they go hurry up.
On the offense, number 33. 5-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Chris Berman is your host for ESPN's 2-hour pregame show, Sunday NFL Countdown. Analyst Tom Jackson, Keyshawn Johnson, Mike Ditkin, Chris Carter, team with insiders Chris Mortensen and Adam Schefter to give you all the analysis, insight, and news from the NFL. Sunday NFL Countdown presented by IBM on ESPN Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. I wouldn't mind. Can I get in Ocho Cinco's ride just for a minute, Paul? Just thinking. I went back to the NFL thought with that promo I just read. Madu in the backfield. And Madu on the carry between the tackles down to the 41-yard line. Picked up about 7 on the play.
As you watch this Oklahoma offense, who is going to really separate themselves as the playmakers other than DeMarco Murray and Ryan Broyles? Is it Moses Madu that comes up and becomes very productive? Is it the young freshman receiver, Kenny Stills? They need to take some pressure off those 2 impact players.
Here's Jones back to pass. And the Bearcats defensively get a lot of heat on him that time. Dan Giordano, who leads the team with 2.5 sacks, applying the pressure.
They named him captain this week, Giordano, because they had a very difficult physical week of practice after the loss to North Carolina State. This kid stepped up and was a leader by example. Only a sophomore, but when it got tough, he was the guy that everybody could lean on, and his captain for this game.
Only a sophomore. Jones gives it to Murray, and a nice tackle, and the ball's on the ground. Bearcats say they have it.
Looks like it was ruled that the ground caused that fumble.
Attack, third down.
All right, and Oklahoma still with possession.
Yeah, Reuben Johnson came up and just submarined DeMarco Murray right there. Yeah. As we know, every play is reviewed. We're going to go head over the Big 12 crew and take a look at this and review it. But I think it was clearly, do you agree that the ground caused that fumble?
And unlike last week in the Arizona game we did, if the forearm is on the ground, that counts as a player being down, correct?
That's exactly right.
Learn something.
Yeah. He had total control of that football until that forearm hit the ground. So I think that call will stand.
After further review, the runner was ruled down by contact. Ruling is confirmed. Third down.
Well, Bob, last week it was Mike Stoops for you and I out in Tucson, and Arizona with a thrilling victory against Iowa. This week we get Bob Stoops.
That's
four Stoops brothers.
Remarkable.
Really the first family of football of sorts in Ohio.
That
right?
really is. I mean, his older brother Ron just left high school coaching in Boardman, Ohio, and took a job at Youngstown State. You mentioned Mike, Bob, and then Mark, the defensive coordinator at Florida State.
3rd and 7. See what Coach Stoops' offense does. On a screen and nowhere to go. The Bearcat defense resilient with great resolve on that play. Broyles with no gain, and it's 4th down. Always a good thing when the Bearcat defense is able to get off the field for their sake. As Tress Way comes into punt from just on the Oklahoma side of midfield, DJ Wood standing at his own 10. Way aiming for the coffin corner. This one will almost down to inside the 5, but not quite. A 39-yard punt, nothing on the return. Zach Colaros going to lead the charge for the Bearcats when we come back. Welcome back, and time to take a look at our drive recap brought to you by Chick-fil-A. And the Cincinnati Bearcats drive, which started in the first quarter and ended in the second quarter with a score.
Yeah, 2 great runs by Isaiah Peed, and then the play action pass off of the run to DJ Woods. And then the Doug Flutie-like scramble, Zach Colaros to Gable for the touchdown.
Cincinnati trying to atone for a 52-26 defeat against Oklahoma 2 years ago in what was the first meeting between these teams. Peed runs it into the line of scrimmage out to the 22-yard line. Gain of about 2 on the play.
You always take for granted Oklahoma under Bob Stoops is going to play really good defense. It's too early to tell this season how good they are going to be on defense, particularly with the Utah State Air Force games.
And that defense, Bob, pretty
right
stout. And intransigent on that last play, Tom Ward. And a loss of 1 on the play by Isaiah Peed.
That's an interesting guy right there. Missed his freshman year with a knee injury. Not really sure what he's doing, but he does it fast and he does it with a lot of enthusiasm. Tom Ward, he's fun to watch.
Third and 8.
See Oklahoma trying to confuse those blocking schemes up front.
Woods wide open. Woods. He lost it. A cataclysmic turn for Cincinnati. He had 6 in his sights. Punched loose by Jonathan Nelson and recovered by Quentin Carter.
That is a textbook example by Jonathan Nelson of how to punch that football out of a receiver's arms. Watch this effort right here by Jonathan Nelson. Does a great job of grabbing with the left hand, but one focus of punching with the right hand. And look at the reaction of these Cincinnati fans.
Those emotions running the entire gamut that time. Interesting that it was Nelson that brought down Woods earlier to save a touchdown. And this is Oklahoma's Madu keeping those legs moving. There's a look at Nelson, who once again saved a touchdown for the second time today.
First of all, DJ Woods is going to come wide open down the middle of the field. But the effort right here of Jonathan Nelson.
Jones on the money again to his tight end, Reddery. Working against Richardson, picks up 24 and another Sooner first down. Boy, what a huge momentum swing.
You mentioned it. You have to be mentally tough if you're Cincinnati's defense right now. There's no time to sulk now.
Well, they bowed up that time, and Moses Madu brought down immediately by Derek Wolfe. Might have lost a couple of yards, and Woods being consoled on the sidelines. For the second time today, run down by Nelson to save a touchdown.
Well, he'll get a lot more opportunities before this day over, but that was a devastating loss of the football right there.
Meanwhile, Jones in a groove, still complete. First down at the 25 to Ryan Broyles. They picked up 20.
You just watch Ryan Broyles ISO'd all the way. Busting coverage right there again by Cincinnati. But this is the most exciting guy, in my opinion, on Oklahoma's roster, Ryan Broyles.
Little bootleg action by Jones. Pass incomplete, intended for the freshman Kenny Stills, and one of the rare misfirings today by the quarterback Landry Jones, but there's a flag down at about the 17-yard line.
I saw Giordano 99 coming in there. No.
On the offense, number 69, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Penalty against the Sooners. Meanwhile, I talked about the accuracy, Bob, of Landry Jones. He's 17 of 22 for 175 yards, and we're barely into the second quarter of play.
Reminds you of the Florida State game. 22 for 28, 321 yards, 3 touchdowns in the first half against Florida State.
Murray in motion. Murray out of the backfield. Incomplete. Is that a lateral? Incomplete. They rule it a forward pass. It was awfully close and somewhat casual in his approach was DeMarco Murray. Second down and 15 for the Sooners.
You can see why Oklahoma has to rotate offensive linemen. You know, they rotate 8 offensive linemen to try to keep up with this pace now themselves.
Third and long. Pass complete, but far short of the first down. A gain of about 5 on the play by Franks, who made the reception. Walter Stewart there immediately to make the stop. Third down coming up. Woods still trying to shake off perhaps the mental effects of that last turnover. 3rd and 10. And incomplete. Murray had it in his hands and dropped it at the 22. So it's 4th down and 10, and Jimmy Stevens trots out onto the field to lead the field goal unit.
Jimmy Stevens kicked against Air Force, had 2 field goals. He actually found out right before the game he was going to kick Patrick O'Hara with a muscle pull. This guy's only about 5'6" right here. Let's see what kind of power he has.
This one's coming from 42 yards out. That would tie his career long. And he pushes it off to the right.
Happiest guy is DJ Woods right now. Give me that ball, coach. Give me another chance.
Well, speaking of chance and what it can affect, the effects it has on Landry Jones's career. He's put up some great numbers so far, and he is following in a long line, an esteemed line of quarterbacks at Oklahoma. A lot of interceptions last year, threw 14 of them, which was a little troubling for the staff. But now he seems to be on the upswing, and Bob, the question begs, do you buy or sell? We'll talk about that in just a bit here.
Oh.
And a big stop on the play on Isaiah Peed.
Another one of those freshmen out of San Diego, Tony Jefferson.
Do you buy or sell Landry Jones?
Oh, I buy it.
Why?
I buy it. I mean, he's just a young sophomore thrown into the fire last year. He's a little erratic at times, but 2 more years with Landry Jones, I mean, I'll buy it every time. He's a talented quarterback.
Players shaken up down on the field. That's Jamel Fleming, number 32. Differing results for Landry Jones. The friendly confines of Owen Field in Norman, Oklahoma versus away from home, where his record is 2-4.
But you think about last year, and all this comes really from last year. They haven't played an away game yet until today, and he's playing really well. You take Sam Bradford, Gresham the tight end, off the field. You take 2 first-round draft choice off the field before, one before they ever play the game, the other one in the first game. He's thrown into the fire. It's really remarkable they did as well as they did.
No doubt. 2nd and 10, meanwhile, for the Bearcats offensively. Hilaros is complete. Forward progress going to be marked near the 30-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play to Armin Binns. Binns, the 2nd leading receiver coming into this game for the Cincinnati Bearcats, had 6 catches, 95 yards in that loss against North Carolina State.
Well, these corners are getting a good workout for Oklahoma. And I think as this season goes on, that'll be the story. Can their corners hold up in the Big 12 Conference? But they're getting a test today.
This time against the run, it's Isaiah Peed, brought down by Jeremy Beal, but he picked up 7 on the play and a first down for Cincinnati. And, one of the variables that is missing big time is that guy, Vidal Hazelton, a transfer from USC who tore his knee up earlier in the season and is finished for the rest of the year. But they go up top. Incomplete at the 28-yard line. That one intended for Binns.
And you see Aaron Colvin, number 14, a freshman in the game for Oklahoma, as they're rotating those corners a little bit.
2nd down and 10 coming up.
But in that Big 12 Conference, even though some quarterbacks have graduated, you better have a lot of DBs now, because that is a wide open passing league.
On 2nd and 10, Woods, a shot at redemption. Not much gain there as we go to Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thank you. Alabama flirted with trouble all afternoon in Fayetteville, but Ryan Mallett fell apart in the 4th quarter. Dre Kirkpatrick with the interception this time. That would be all she wrote. It was Mallett's 3rd interception. Alabama winning by 4, and Texas losing. UCLA 34, the Longhorns 12.
All right, Wendy, so upset Saturday, not so much upset Saturday yet. Pass incomplete, high, intended for Marcus Barnett. Coach Jones, well, I guess those words he had with the official, Bob, earlier didn't really work.
They listen, that doesn't mean they hear.
Okay. 4th down coming up as a result for Cincinnati. For the 2nd time, Coach Jones following in the footsteps of Brian Kelly. Did it before at Central Michigan and doing it now at the University of Cincinnati. O'Donnell into punt for the Bearcats, his 2nd of the day. There's that rugby-style punt. He almost kicked it into his own lineman's back. But he got a great roll on it. All the way down to the 23-yard line. A 40-yard punt, nothing on the return. Mamas, don't let your sons grow up to be coaches because you can get a little bit stressed, and it's been a major topic. We'll discuss that in Davy Jones' locker coming up on the other side.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Progressive Insurance. Visit progressive.com. And Taco Bell. Think outside the bun.
Boy, they got all kinds of animals here at the Cincinnati Zoo, the second oldest zoo in the United States. Over 500 animals featured along with more than 3,000 plants. Back here in Cincinnati, a sports rabid town. Landry Jones at quarterback working out of the shotgun for Oklahoma. 6:50 to go in the first half. His team leading by 5. Complete on the quick release. He's now hit 18 of his last 21 passes. That one to Cameron Kinney. Picked up 5 on the play. On 2nd and 4, a dangerous throw. You said it, Bob.
You could see it coming, couldn't you?
Intended for DeMarco Murray, and it's going to be 3rd down coming up.
Cameron Cheatham saw that coming as well, Mark. Cut in front of that football, almost had a pick if it would have been well thrown. I tell you, this is an energized Cincinnati football team and crowd. Another big 3rd down here. See if they can get off the field.
Incomplete. And they do get off the field through the hands of Kenny Stills. The defense earns a breather on that series. 4th and 4 coming up.
Here's where you miss Marty Gilliard if you're Cincinnati. Their outstanding receiver return man from last year. But here's DJ Woods. Has a chance to make a play right here. Certainly has the ability. You know he wants to do it after that strip on that long pass.
Ooh. A high spiral that Woods will field at the 25 on the run. DJ Woods spinning a nice tune all the way out to the 42, a 46-yard punt. 16 yards on the return. Coach Stoops kind of stressing that return. Bob Stoops, the head coach of the Oklahoma Sooners, has talked openly about stress and the effect of it has on coaches. And Bob, we've talked about it a little bit. It touches a lot of coaches, players alike. How do you cope with it in football?
Yeah, I think, you know, the Mark D'Antonio situation is why we're talking about it. And I don't think anything illustrates more the ups and downs in coaching than last week in East Lansing.
There's a run, and Pede gets about 3 on the play. You know, what are some of the coping strategies that you use?
Well, I think you take Bob Stoops, for example, but back to East Lansing, the highest of high. Mark D'Antonio on that fake field goal when Michigan State won, but the lowest of low on the other sideline, Brian Kelly. And that's what coaching is, that roller coaster, 365 days a year, really.
Pass complete, and a pass like that kind of relieves a little bit of stress, you'd think. Ends with the catch.
And you talk about Bob Stoops, it hits home because, you know, the Stoops family well documented, but Bob's father, Ron Sr., died early of a heart attack at 54 years old.
And gain of 3 on the play by Pete. Stoops has talked openly about maybe hanging it up earlier than most coaches would as a result, too.
Yeah, and he takes diligent care of his health, which is obviously very important. But the reality is stress takes its toll regardless of how physically healthy you are.
Of course, it's a big story this week with the heart attack suffered by Michigan State head coach D'Antonio. And here's what Bob Stoops had to say about it. Said, I told Spurrier this summer that there's no way I'll be coaching when I'm 65. And he said, yeah, that's what I said when I was 50.
Well, you can just imagine. Go down there and take that pulse right now. Take that blood pressure. I mean, his brother Mike shows it. Shows the emotion every snap. Bob holds it in a little bit more.
This week's edition of Davy Jones' Locker. 3rd and 6 and a big hit on quarterback Collaros and a catch by Woods. Right near that first down marker, picked up 6 on the play. That's going to be enough, it looks like, for a first down.
And Collaros took a great lick from Ronell Lewis, 56, who's one of the most explosive football players in all of college football, Ronell Lewis. Kid played 8-man football, and Oklahoma coaches rave about number 56. But Zach Collaros, DJ Woods.
Woods on the reverse, looking to throw it into coverage and intercepted at the goal line by Carter. But there's a flag down on the play. And Carter brought down to the 32. The pass was intended for Armand Bin, so hold on a minute.
Yeah, I'm going to bet on that one. Aaron Colvin, pass interference in the end zone. But more important than that right now,
Pass interference on a defense number 14. 15-yard penalty. First down.
It's pass interference against Oklahoma.
first of all, here's the pass interference. Yeah, I mean, there's no question about it. Aaron Colvin never allowed Armand Benz to come back for that football. Interception by Quentin Carter doesn't matter. But bigger than all of that.
Yeah. Collaros down on the field, and there's a look at Chaz Anderson, the backup who has played before. He's 2-0 as a starter here at Cincinnati, but one more look at the hit on Collaros.
Let's take a look. They're going to run the reverse pass. Keep your eye on the quarterback, Collaros. Boy, on the chop block.
Did he take a knee to the back? It seemed rather harmless. But that's the vantage point of the camera speaking. Let's take one more look as Anderson warms up in earnest for Cincinnati.
Again, he's going to sustain this injury, blocking right here. Oh, Mark, that looks like a knee to the rib or something. Stacy McGee, the defensive lineman. Boy, DJ Woods. Looks like Collaros is going to be okay. You love DJ Woods' effort, but he's had some mistakes. I mean, that football should not have been thrown. It was double coverage.
He's been involved in some real pivotal plays already today. 1st and 10 now for Chaz Anderson, who's in at quarterback, as I mentioned, 2-0 as a starter. 6 foot 1 inch, 207-pound junior. It's his team, at least for this play, offensively. Handed off to Peed. And Peed down to the 14. Let's go to Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thank you. This game going on over on ESPNU. Kentucky at Florida. The Gators finally their first quarter touchdown of the season, believe it or not. Trey Burton, the 11-yard run. The Gators on top by 7.
All right, Wendy, and here Tom Ward is the shaken up player for the Sooners. As Chaz Anderson goes back to the sideline, Zach Collaros coming back onto the field to lead the offense. Well, the chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup continues Sunday as overall points leader Denny Hamlin races for the 7th victory of the season. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup at Dover on ESPN Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern time. Tell you, I'll put Chad Ochocinco's right in that NASCAR race.
You know, Oklahoma, they already lost Austin Box, linebacker with a disc injury in his back. See Tom Ward limping off the field. We mentioned he had an ACL last year as a freshman. You have to love the energy of this Cincinnati football team. And these students and these people here appreciate it. I mean, this is a 1-2 football team that's backed against the wall early in the season, and they have really responded, I think, with a very energetic performance.
2nd and 3 coming up. Claros back in the ball game. Little double move into the end zone. And intercepted by the Sooners. Number 3, Jonathan Nelson with another big play.
Yeah, that's got to be the Big 12 halftime defensive player of the week right now, Jonathan Nelson.
Give it to him.
You know, you try to go up the top to Armand Benz at 6'4". That's a great athletic move, isn't it? That safety coming off the hash to Jonathan Nelson.
Did he get that foot down?
Yeah, let's take a look.
This might be reviewable, as they all are.
Man, that guy's not going to review it. He's having nightmares about it. But I'd like to take a look at that again. Did that right foot come down in bounds?
First down and 10. Jones, boy, what a frozen rope, complete at the 36-yard line. One more look, though. Did he get that foot down?
Yeah, the left one's
that
down.
left one, clearly. Dewan Miller making that last catch for 15 yards. 3.5 minutes to go in the first half. Oklahoma leading 14-9.
Boy, mistakes by Cincinnati taking points off that board.
And mistakes in the red zone. There's Murray between the tackles, picks up about 2 on the play. It's Oklahoma's first game away from Norman at Owen Field so far this year.
You've got the Longhorns coming off that UCLA loss in Dallas next week in the Cotton Bowl. But it's all about Cincinnati right now.
Murray out of the backfield, showing his versatility as a receiver out to the 46. Tackled by Cheatham, but not before he picked up 11 on the play, and another Sooner first down into Cincinnati territory. On the reverse, Jones with a nice block for Franks, and he put it on the ground. One of the Oklahoma coaches getting into it with one of the Cincinnati players. And a flag thrown. Emotions obviously running high.
Forward out of bounds, so we'll come back to the spot of the fumble after the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct on Oklahoma bench. 15-yard penalty. Second down.
Yeah, that's Jay Norvell, Oklahoma's assistant coach. But let's watch what happens. Malik Bomer, an excellent job right here, stripping that ball out. Recovered by Trey Franks on the sidelines. Yeah, what Jay Norvell saw was that Cincinnati player coming in after Franks had recovered that football. That happens. You know, a guy protecting his player. It's not the smartest thing to do.
You don't blame him for it, though?
No, I blame him because it was a penalty.
Okay.
But I do understand how emotion, when one of your players and what you think was somebody coming in late, emotion overcomes you when you're trying to protect one of your players.
We got film, Bob. You ever gotten one of those?
No.
No.
I mean, I don't condone the action, but I do understand how it happened right there. They're going to go back and review this. Again, there's Malik Bomer stripping that ball out. The ball is out. There's the recovery right there.
Coach thinking that hit late.
Boy, that's a great strip right there. Great strip. There's the recovery right there by Trey Franks, and there's the late hit coming in late.
And ironically, Bob, prior to the game, Coach Norvell, there he is showing his emotions on the fumble. And ironically, before the game, he's doing drills with his troops, his receivers, working the pads and getting their hands all ready.
And what, you talk about, again, I'm not condoning it because it's a penalty. No one feels worse than Jay Norvell, but you understand how it happens. I mean, you've got an obligation for your as a coach to step up for one of your players. I don't think Bob Stoops will fault him for doing that, and it won't happen again.
Is that the type of thing that wins you a lot of credibility amongst your players?
Well, I think it does. I mean, obviously you want to avoid the penalty.
Right.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. The ball was fumbled forward and out of bounds after the enforcement of the unsportsmanlike second down.
That was a great play by Malik Boma that was lost in all that. That linebacker coming down the line of scrimmage.
Hey, Tim Banks' defense has done a pretty good job here for Cincinnati in this game.
They really have. I mean, they have responded to what happened at NC State. They gave up about 500 yards. They have played inspired football in this game. Hats off to Tim Banks and that defensive staff of Cincinnati.
He told us that they wanted to know exactly where Broyles was, amongst other things, on every play and communicate well amongst themselves.
And by the way, it is 3rd and 22 after all this unravels.
2nd and 22.
2nd and 22. The down marker says 3rd and 22, but they just changed it back. Yeah. This Cincinnati bench is in it too. I mean, those guys are jumping up and down over there.
Players bumping their gums a little bit. On the screen, Murray. And a nice tackle in the open field at the 38-yard line by Cameron Cheatham. Let's check in with Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thank you. Coming up on the Outback Steakhouse halftime report, we'll revisit Alabama and Arkansas, get you set for South Carolina at Auburn, take a closer look at a scare from Michigan head coach Rich Rodriguez, the latest on his quarterback, Denard Robinson. We'll see you back here at the half.
All right, Wendy back here, 3rd and long. Jones past the tonic. 1st down Sooners at the 23. DeJuan Miller with a great catch.
Yeah, and he just ran by Reuben Johnson. But DeJuan Miller, 6'4", 221 pounds, came on strong at the end of last season.
Here's Jones looking deep. And his receiver, Broyles, runs out of space.
But wow, and you see the thing Oklahoma does after a big play. While that defense is trying to gather themselves, that's a great time to hurry up. But DeJuan Miller, big, tall receiver, started 8 games last year, comes up and makes a play on 3rd and what, about 20?
3rd and Columbus almost. 2nd and 10 here.
Have there been some ebbs and flows in this football game?
Jones on the slant, incomplete at the 17-yard line, intended for Cameron Kenny.
I love
Cheatham saying not here.
Yeah, and you have to love the resiliency of Cincinnati. I mean, there's a reason this team's been to 2 straight BCS bowl games. And even though a lot of those guys are gone, what Butch Jones tells the guys that were riding on the bus, now have to drive the bus. There's some guys stepping up under some adverse conditions right now for this defense.
On 3rd and 10, they converted last time. Jones wide open, incomplete, dropped by Kenny. He got twisted a little bit, turning around to try and make the grab and couldn't.
Boy, that's a guy that the only junior college player on the 2 deep right here. Struggled last year, Mark, with confidence. Came in, he was nervous. They said he's gotten through that. But wow, that is a wide open receiver. He kind of stumbled a little bit, but
you can understand Landry Jones's reaction.
Boy,
showing his frustration.
Bob Stoops and the coaching staff reaction.
Here's Stevens from 42 yards out. Missed earlier, but knocks this one through, tying his career long. With 1:02 to go in the first half, the Bearcats trailing 17-9. (17-9) with 1:02 to go here in the first half of play. An entertaining first half and surprising somewhat as well. I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davey, and celebrating its 6th year sponsoring the Good Hands Field Goal Nets. Allstate makes contributions to participating universities' general scholarship funds for each field goal and extra point kicked. To date, Allstate has contributed more than $2.2 million in scholarship monies. There has been a tremendous swing in momentum in this game.
A lot of points left on the field, hadn't it?
Especially for Cincinnati, and just a moment ago, Oklahoma.
And Oklahoma as well.
Cincinnati, Bob, you referred to their record. You alluded to it. They're 1-2 coming in, but a very tough early schedule. They've played their first 3 games in a 12-day span.
Yeah, anytime you go to Fresno, open up against Pat Hill as a new coaching staff, then you go down to Raleigh, North Carolina on a Thursday night, you can tell this football team's glad to be back home.
From the 9, this is Woods. Don't sleep when he gets the ball. Pushed out of bounds harmlessly this time with 57 seconds to go in the first half.
Jay Norville, the wide receiver coach from Oklahoma. I think you see the passion in which guys coach with. I mean, this is the livelihood for them and their families.
Having his receivers back that time.
It's not just the head coaches. You talk about stress, you talk about blood pressure. But I'll tell you something, those players will respond to Jay Norville because he's a passionate guy.
Polaris' screen pass complete to the 19, caught immediately by Pete and brought down immediately. Bob, I guess that's a picture of what you call being invested, right?
Yeah. Now picture that, not only coaching, but you're waiting for that recruit to tell you the night before the signing date, is he going to come or not? You're waiting at the end of the summer for the summer grades to come in. It's that kind of roller coaster 365 days a year. It's not just right here with the lights on. Right. It's every day of the year.
Is that why you used to go jogging 5 miles a day?
You know how long it would take me to jog 5 miles.
2nd and 15. And Pete brought down at the 24. Clock running. Taylor making the stop. A gain of 4 on the play. But so far, I guess if you asked head coach Butch Jones, would you take being down by just 8 at the end of the first half, he'd probably have said yes coming into this one against a very powerful and prolific Oklahoma team. Timeout called on the play by the Sooners.
What a day in college football. Let's wrap this up now. Alabama came back and beat Arkansas. But the shock is UCLA going to Austin, Texas, hot, humid day, and getting all over the Longhorns.
When you look at Texas, they play Oklahoma in that game coming up. How do you see that one playing out in the Big 12 in the big picture?
Too early, man.
Too early? You're not going to give me a prediction yet?
I'm going to watch the second half. I'm going to watch these Sooners a little more in the second half. Right. But you know what? I mean, the old cliche, right. You've heard us a million times. Throw out the records, throw out everything. When those two get together in Dallas, that'll be a low-scoring, physical football game, bottom line. I mean,
talked about it. What a week for the Pac-10 with UCLA picking off one of the country's best in Texas, and Arizona winning last week, a big one against a Big Ten powerhouse, Iowa.
Yeah, Oregon. We talked about Boise jumping up. Oregon with a big game tonight at Arizona State.
And Stanford doing work against Notre Dame. Fourth and 3 coming up.
Here's where you get paid some money as a coach, or you earn your money. I'm going to ask you right here, Mark. 4th and 3, 4 seconds left. Do you punt this football, or do you snap it, run around, and just take 4 seconds off the clock? You understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Because if you punt it, there's always the risk, right? It's either returned with a talented guy here returning.
If I've got a talented punter, I'm making him run out the clock.
So you don't, you're just going to take this and run with it if you're the punter. You're not going to punt the ball. Okay, let's see what happens.
That's why I'm not coaching.
Now you got to tackle Ryan Broyles now.
Broyles with a nice spin move, but running out of real estate.
You're 1 for 1, baby. You won that one.
Does that get me a contract extension? Big second half coming up between these two teams. 17-9 to the break. Right now we're going to head to the Outback Steakhouse halftime report. Back in the studio. Sooners with the lead.
Mark, thank you very much. We are so glad you could be with.
Welcome back, everyone, to Paul Brown Stadium on the banks of the Ohio River. Cincinnati trailing Oklahoma 17-9 as we get ready for the start of the second half. And I'm Mark Jones along with Bob Davie. Bob, I guess some might think that you have a classic case of an Oklahoma kind of Texas hangover thing happening here.
I don't think. I mean, I never bought into that looking
trap
next
game.
week. I really don't.
Not even a little bit.
Maybe the score backs it up a little bit, if that theory. But I look at Oklahoma, 315 yards offense in the first half. I mean, they're playing well. They just missed some opportunities to score a lot more points. Now, the same could be said for Cincinnati. They've left some points on the field as well. But I don't know. I mean, that theory, that common theory of looking ahead next week, you only play 12 of these games. And I know human nature comes into play, but as hard as these guys work, I just can't imagine they would bypass and look ahead to next week.
I wonder if some of the Sooners perhaps heard the score of the Texas game earlier today. Texas upset by UCLA. Meanwhile, Cincinnati is going to get the kick here to begin the third quarter. DJ Woods back deep. And Tress Way is going to kick off from his own 30 for the Oklahoma Sooners. There's Woods, who was involved in a number of pivotal, significant plays in the first half.
And there were some great individual plays in that first half of football.
Woods at the 4. And Woods brought down at about the 28-yard line. And let's take a look at our Amway positive performance.
I talked about some great individual efforts. Watch number 3, Jonathan Nelson, the safety. That is one touchdown saving tackle right there. Watch this. The punch, 2 touchdown saving tackles and no points on that drive. That's 3. Now that is the definition of a safety net back there on defense. That was a tremendous half of football. That's your Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week, I'm telling you already.
He's got Cincinnati in a full Nelson. I couldn't help that one, Bob. Out to the 37-yard line, Isaiah Peed. 9-yard gain on the play. He saved a potential 18 points.
Another guy out of Texas, Arlington, Texas. You know, about 50% of the 2 deep is out of Texas for Oklahoma. They make a living in that state.
2nd and 1. Here's Peed dancing around and brought down behind the line of scrimmage. His forward progress going to be marked at the 36. Travis Lewis making the stop on the play, the most experienced of those linebackers for the Sooners. Captain on the field. 4th down coming up.
Yeah, number 1 on ESPN's draft board, Travis Lewis as well. So he's got a great pro future.
Suarez stuffed behind the line of scrimmage at the 32. McGee, the first one to get there for the Sooners. And it's 3 and out on the first possession of the third quarter for Cincinnati.
No chance. Quarterback run. It gets an all-out blitz by Oklahoma. Brent Venables, that's tough to run, the quarterback run, when you have a blitz like that. You got to get out of that play.
4th down, and Patrick O'Donnell in the punt. Trey Franks. Pardon me, that's Ryan Broyles back deep. Getting closer and closer, aren't there? And he takes a great Cincinnati Bearcat bounce, fielded by Broyles at the 5. And they're going to lose some field position, although he did tiptoe well out to the 8-yard line. It's going to be marked there Adrian Whitty pushing him out of bounds.
That's soccer-style rugby punt. I guess rugby-style punt. It's awful at times. Watch how low he kicks this football again. Well, you can't really see, but I mean, he is so close to getting that thing blocked, but you get the roll. I mean, it's a good-bad trade-off, I guess. But, man, that makes me nervous, kicking that football that low.
You wouldn't want your guy doing it that way.
Well, I like the results.
61 yards and all on the punt. From their own 8, Jones completes it. Broyles gives you a lot of yards after the catch, out to the 15, working against Cameron Cheatham. Picked up about 7 on the play.
You said it. Landry Jones with about 260 yards passing now already in this game, but get that ball out there in space to these talented receivers.
Jones going up top. Has a man, a flag thrown on the play. He was trying to find the freshman Stills. Being covered by Reuben Johnson. Johnson appeared to be looking back and making a play. We'll take a look at the replay, obviously, on this one. It's pass interference against the Bearcats. And still shaken up.
Yeah, let's watch the very end of the play. Oh, that's great coverage. That's great coverage. I mean, Kenny Stills pushed Reuben Johnson, and you made the key point. Reuben was looking back for the football. He has equal right.
It's tougher and tougher to play defense these days. 1st and 10. Murray between the tackles out to the 32-yard line where Schaefer makes the stop after a gain of about 3. Landry Jones putting up a lot of yards on the board, 258. He has outdone Cincinnati's total yardage. And continues to. Near midfield, a first down to Franks.
He's having fun. Now watch, after a big play, a big gain is when they get up and snap that ball quickly now.
Bob Stoops compares his quarterback Landry Jones to Jason White.
He can throw on the run, too. That was an excellent throw on the run.
Jones under a little bit of duress this time, throws it away.
They're going to get a roughing the passer now. Derek Wolf.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer on the defense, number 95. 15-yard penalty.
Sometimes you let one penalty lead to another with frustration. Yeah. Silly. Derek would like to have that one back.
No doubt about that one. Moves the ball all the way down just inside the 40. 34-yard line. Murray weaving down to the 30. Picks up 4. Oklahoma Sooners last year 2-5 on the road. There's a look at the penalty situation. Landry Jones answering the call here on the road so far in their first road game of the year. Getting a lot of help from his friend in the backfield, Murray. DeMarco Murray picks up another Sooner first down. Just outside the 20 at the 21, he picked up 9 and comes up hobbling.
Again, if this guy can stay healthy, the best dual running back guy, I think, in the country. Big, strong athlete, but he can catch the football in open space.
Running it out of the eye this time, Moses Madu. And Madu picks up about 3. Great story that they told us about Murray, who came off the field a moment ago when the coaches there were actually recruiting Ryan Reynolds. Saw his high school coach and said to Murray, hey, show him how you dunk the basketball. And they were in the gym. They throw it off the back. He throws it off the backboard and does a reverse slam.
Yeah, he was just a puppy then, too.
A junior.
Bob Stoops says, I'll be back next year.
up high. And Cameron Cheatham put the hit on Moses Madu. Madu getting a little elevation himself. Speaking of elevation, Bob.
Yeah. Moses Madu glad to be back at his natural position, running back. Every carry he gets, he cherishes because he doesn't get a whole lot.
And another gain by Madu of about 3 this time.
And you get the feeling this Cincinnati defense, who's been hanging by a thread's about to crumble. But how about this?
Bet you he can dunk a basketball like Murray, right?
I don't think you coach that. He's doing that on his own now.
2nd and goal for Oklahoma. And that's a slam dunk.
Cincinnati starting to accept it a little bit right there.
Madu straight ahead for the score.
So you still think they're looking ahead to Texas, huh?
Not anymore.
Yeah, okay. They got their focus at halftime.
They are on task.
I got you.
First rushing touchdown of the season for Moses Madu in the 9th of his career.
You would think Cincinnati, with a lot of momentum, would come out in the second half. It's been Oklahoma that's come out in the second half.
The extra point good, and it's 24-9. 9-play, 92-yard drive, using up 3 minutes on the clock. That's all about determination and effort. Boy, what a game that's going to be, and Boise State figuring prominently in the BCS picture. Oklahoma leading 24-9 here. And you look at Boise State and their success since Coach Chris Peterson has taken over from Dan Hawkins. Brings up a couple of interesting points. Here's Woods on the return, and he'll take a knee. Well, you look at Boise as a case study and how they've been able to get it done since the departure of Dan Hawkins to Colorado, Bob.
Tremendous continuity. I mean, the thing that jumps out at you about Boise, they play so fast because they are so familiar with those schemes. You know, Chris Peterson was there on the staff with Dan Hawkins. He gets the job. Most of the coaches stay. In contrast, Cincinnati, Brian Kelly leaves. Butch Jones comes in from Central Michigan. Now, granted, he did it before following Brian Kelly at Central Michigan. But this is his first time coaching in the Big East, in the city of Cincinnati. I think Boise had a tremendous advantage by hiring within.
First down and 10 for the Bearcats. There's Pete. And Isaiah Pete still on his feet. Still on the go. Pete. Out of bounds at the 3.
I don't think he ever went down. He flipped over a defensive player from Oklahoma, but he never hit the ground. Watch this, Mark. This is an unbelievable effort. Right here. Oh, that forearm's down. That forearm was down.
We saw that happen last week.
Yeah, he's down.
We saw that in a game between Iowa and Arizona last week.
Yep. That football is going to come back. Let's take a look at this, and I'll show you the moment of truth. Right there, that forearm is down. It's not the hand down, it's the forearm. He is down right there. What a tremendous effort, though.
Yeah.
That is a tremendous effort. Take a close look again. Right there, Mark, his forearm is clearly down on that turf, and that football is going to come back.
And the rule being, you said that last week, when the forearm is down, he's ruled down.
You're
correct?
down.
But if the hand is down, you can use the hand.
And even the back of the wrist, if it's down. The palm of the hand, you're okay. The football, you're okay. If you use that to balance.
I tell you, Isaiah Pete sold it pretty well. But ultimately, we'll see if the officials are buying. This is a pivotal juncture for Cincinnati.
And regardless of the call, it's a huge call. What a tremendous effort. And having Isaiah Peed back for this football team is a huge lift, but I think he's down. Here comes the ruling right here.
If it stands, it's a career-long 77-yard run.
After further review, the runner's elbow was on the ground at the 33-yard line, so the runner is down at the 33. Please reset the game clock to 9 minutes.
They're going to boo, but that was an excellent call, and that's why you have replay in college football, because nobody saw that on the field. Yeah, the fans can't see that, for sure. The coaches can't see that. And the only reason we see it is because of replay. Right there it is.
Yeah, that right forearm.
Clearly down. But look at the impact of that penalty. Or excuse me, that replay. Now that ball has to be marked where that forearm went down, right? They're marking it clear back where the ball was snapped.
Hey, Bob, the good news on the play, he still gained 13 yards if you're Cincinnati, right?
Am I right? Where was that football snapped from?
That was a 13-yard gain on the play. From the 20 to the 33.
You're right.
1st and 10. And after all that, a flag.
False start on the offense. Number 66, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Well, they've had some issues on that offensive line, bringing in some new bodies, trying to get a little consistency and performance after giving up a national high of 15 sacks coming into this game. And by and large, they protected the quarterback tonight.
Oklahoma hasn't given up a sack. Both offensive lines. There hasn't been a sack in this game.
Claros under some heat. Completes it at the 28-yard line to the tight end Robinson. Well, next week, two undefeated rivals battle for sole possession of first place in the NFC North as the Green Bay Packers head into Soldier Field to take on the Bears. ESPN's Monday Night Football at 8:30 Eastern. It all starts at 7 with Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's, and a flag thrown on the play. And this is going to go against the Oklahoma Sooners, a personal foul.
Yeah, roughing the passer. They brought Aaron Colvin, the corner on the blitz. Let's take a look coming right here late. Hand to the face. I guess they're going to call it. Boy, this kid looks cool.
Peed. Oh, boy, he broke some ankles in open field. Down to the 30-yard line, Jonathan Nelson got broke off that time.
He got stuck on the Bengal. I mean, Jonathan Nelson, I swear his right, look, his shoe came off on the Bengal. The Bengal bit him right there.
He blew a tire.
But I'll tell you something, Peed is quick now.
1st down and 10 for Cincinnati on the move. Peed again. This time nowhere to go. Brought down at the 33. Nice open field tackle by Tony Jefferson.
I love the effort of these Oklahoma DBs. I mean, they're not perfect, but they bounce back and make plays now. I mean, they play hard.
Jefferson that time. Nelson prior to that. 2nd and 12 coming up for the Bearcats. Claros complete. And hard hitting by that Sooner defense. A bone-crushing hit put on Marcus Barnett by Travis Lewis.
Hey, that's Mel Kiper's #1 linebacker on the ESPN draft board. Just listen to this one now. I tell you, they'll hit you. Oklahoma will hit you now.
3rd and 6 coming up for the Bearcats. Got to get to the 21.
Got to think 2-down territory.
Claros scrambling. Brought down at the 24, picked up 2 yards on the play. Jeremy Beal making the tackle for the Sooners. Beal's been conspicuous by his silence so far in this game.
Yep.
The All-American candidate up front there. He is number 44, the great leader and the real consciousness defensively for Oklahoma. And in comes the field goal unit. They're going to try this one from 43 yards out. Jake Rogers, who's already connected tonight from 22 yards away. And he just sneaks that one inside the right upright. They put 3 points on the board. And it's a 12-point ball game. Still plenty of football to go. Which one of these coaches will roll the dice and perhaps become tonight's Cincinnati Riverboat Gambler? Back with more after this.
ESPN's College Football Primetime, brought to you by Dr. Pepper. There's nothing like a pepper.
A look here at the opening of the 2004 National Underground Railroad Museum here in Cincinnati. Been visited by more than 90,000 people and dedicated to telling the story of how the enslaved people escaped to freedom back in the day. Under 7 minutes to go in the third quarter.
See if this Cincinnati defense hanging by a thread all night. I mean, Oklahoma clearly, their offense is a little too athletic for Cincinnati's defense, but their defense has hung in there.
Cameron Kenny and Moses Madu back deep. This is Kenny. Kenny finding a nice seam and a good kickoff return out to the 36-yard line for the Sooners. A 34-yard return. Take a look at some of the cogent and pertinent numbers on the night. Cincinnati actually with more rushing yards than Oklahoma, but Oklahoma put up a bunch of yards in the first half.
Yeah, it's been Landry Jones throwing the football. A lot of short routes, run after the catch, and then it's been Isaiah Peed for Cincinnati rushing the football.
Jones 26 of 37 passing. They run it. This is Murray. A little straight arm and gains about 7 on the play. Wesley Richardson there to push him out of bounds. But getting back to Landry Jones, the quarterback, 7-3 as a starter coming into this game out of Artesia, New Mexico high school, where he won a couple of state titles, so he has history in winning and winning in his background. Not quite a winning play that time, scrambling and stumbling forward about 2 yards short of the first down.
Remember, Bob Stoops told us one of the best high school practices he's ever seen when he went out to Artesia, New Mexico to watch Landry Jones practice. Player of the year in the state of New Mexico.
Come a long way since hyperventilating last year in Cowboy Stadium.
When they told him to win for Sam Bradford?
Yeah. You can understand, right? 3rd and 2. Certainly calm on that completion to his trustworthy receiver, Ryan Broyles. And another Sooner first down.
Run after the catch. Wesley Richardson, great opportunity out there in the open field. Then Malik Bomar coming in, but run after the catch.
31-yard gain, 1st and 10. Murray into the boundary, and a nice play defensively by Malik Bomar. Well, Bomar's made some nice plays defensively for Cincinnati tonight.
Yeah, undersized. They said, you know, he's about 213 pounds. They try to, you know, one of those deals trying to get him to gain weight, keep the weight on. Good active linebacker.
Loss of 1 on the play. Jones under heat and sacked back at the 43. Checked at the 33 by Dan Giardino, who now has 3.5 sacks on the season. That's tops on the Cincinnati defense.
And really pretty good pass protection right there by Eric Mensick. But Giordano staying with it.
They could really use a stop here on 3rd and long. Complete to Murray and met immediately. The Bearcats raise up. Cameron Cheatham limiting that gain to just 2 yards. That kind of puts them on the fringes of field goal range, if at all.
Yeah, 52-yard field goal. We're going to go ahead and punt this football right here. Good decision by Bob Stoops. Cameron Cheatham, though, you know, he comes in the game when Cincinnati goes to nickel. He comes in as the corner. Big play on that little screen ball out there.
Way into punt, and Wood standing at his own 10.
Cincinnati defense just keeps hanging in there, don't they?
Got a flag down on the field.
Delay game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
This part of the field, it really doesn't hurt them all that much.
How about following the same coach at 2 different places? Butch Jones following Brian Kelly at Central Michigan, now here at Cincinnati. Of course, the expectations much higher here at Cincinnati.
A little different going into the Big East. Way. Oh boy, he used the wedge on that one. And Oklahoma.
That's why they took that 5-yard penalty.
Yeah. Didn't hurt at all. It's down. Well, it's going to be a touchback. And when we come back on the other side, well, they're going to talk it over. We talk all things Stoops. Welcome back, everyone, to Cincinnati, Ohio, on the banks of the Ohio River. And we talked about the Stoops family, really the first family of football in Youngstown, Ohio. That's where they're from, 274 miles northeast of Cincinnati. 4 brothers, 2 sisters, and that's what he said about turning 50. He used to go out running, but came back limping, which is why now he tells me that he's into cycling and biking about 16 miles a day.
You know something I was thinking that really helps him deal with stress? He's been at OU 12 years. He's had the same president, David Bourne. He said the same athletic director, Joe Castiglione. That really helps.
Yeah. And that was our Edward Jones FaceTime profile, brought to you by Edward Jones. There's Isaiah Peed. And Peed only got about 2 yards on that carry. Stopped by a group of Oklahoma players. Let's go back to Wendy.
Mark, thank you very much. This game on ESPN. It's a top 25 showdown in the SEC. South Carolina at Auburn. The freshman running back phenom Marcus Lattimore punches it in, and the Gamecocks on top. It's 14-7. Also, Florida 21-7 over Kentucky.
All right, Wendy, back here on the receiver screen. It's DJ Wood stopped up behind the line of scrimmage by Tony Jefferson. Boy, what a week it was for the Stoops brothers. Bob's team 3-0, ranked number 8 in the country. Mike's team with a big win against Iowa that we saw firsthand in Tucson last week. And Mark Stoops doing a nice job at Florida State, his team winning against BYU. And Ron, kind of the guy that goes under the radar a little bit. Just a touch.
And his dad, Ron Sr., longtime defensive coordinator, 30-some years in Youngstown high school football.
Colaros under duress. Throws it out of bounds, incomplete. Ronell Lewis there applying a lot of heat. And it's 4th down coming up for the Bearcats. Time winding down in the 3rd quarter, 2:07 to go.
But you go back to Bob Stoops just to finish it up. And this week, because of the Mark D'Antonio situation, imagine your father, 54 years old, a health fitness guy now. Sudden heart attack. Dies. Bob Stoops does something interesting. You know, their staff doesn't meet till 8:45 in the morning. So he, his coaches, if they choose, can take their families, their children to school. Just another way to kind of keep some normalcy in your life and handle the stress.
Good point. And here's Broyles on the punt return. Great move by Ryan Broyles down to the 33. And Bob, what time do staffs usually meet? We'll talk about that in a bit. But boy, last week, Mike on the left. Which one is the more sedate of the two?
Oh, well,
you guess.
I don't know if sedate now comes into the conversation, but you know, Mike definitely wears his emotions on his sleeve. Now Bob's not bashful now.
No.
He'll get after it, but I mean, Mike, it is constant barking from the time the ball's kicked off until they're in the locker room.
That was almost every play. First down and 10. Landry Jones, a little option, getting his Jamel Holloway on. Nadeau picking up a couple yards, but back to Stoops. Staffs usually don't meet at that time.
Yeah.
I mean, 8:45. What's the norm in the
Well,
business?
most guys are in there a little bit earlier, you know, 7 o'clock, but they stay late at night. I mean, don't mistake it. I know you're not, that they're not in there long hours. They are, but just it's kind of nice to see your kids in the morning and take them to school.
He was looking Broyles' way, but he was closely covered. And he took a hit back at the 20-yard line. The pass incomplete. Pat Lambert.
Yep. That crowd now helped.
They called for the ground.
They wanted intentional grounding.
Lost it down, spot the foul, third down.
Hey, Butch Jones better not see that guy with that Stanford cross-country jersey on in the stands.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, he is not outside that tackle box right here. But how about that story, Mark, of Butch Jones sees that girl jogging in the stadium with an Indiana t-shirt on and has security go up and get her.
Yeah, at least keep it in conference if you're going to wear someone else's jersey. Shoot, keep it in the Big East. 3rd and Columbus to go. Jones under heat again, incomplete. Hey, the Bearcat defense not giving up. And it's 4th down.
Now John used that time, bull rushing, big Derek Wolf in there. And again, this Cincinnati defense, Butch Jones talks about a lot of different motivational things, right? Hold the rope, different stories. I tell you, they will not fall off the cliff. They keep hanging in there.
Yeah, there's a championship manual that he showed us in our conference meeting yesterday. It had to be about, 600 pages. It was called Had Family, and talking about holding the rope. Detailed the Bearcat Olympics they had as a team bonding experience. Tress Way gets off a high spiral. And Woods calling for the fair catch at the 31-yard line. Well, ESPN's coverage of Major League Baseball in the hunt for October continues on Sunday Night Baseball. Red Sox going against the Yankees. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell, part of Lee Jeans, the hunt for October on ESPN and ESPN3.com at 8 Eastern time. Yankees and D-Rays battling for first place. Some Cincinnati Reds followers in attendance. Cincinnati also looking at a potential playoff spot. Isaiah Pete breaks a couple of tackles and gets a nice block from his quarterback, Colares, and a late flag. Jonathan Nelson came in to make the hit.
And I'll tell you what, now so many things in this play. Tom Wharton misses the tackle early. You have Colares out in the open field.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on the defense, number 3. 15 yards.
And then you have Jonathan Nelson getting run over. I mean, they're going to call out-of-bounds hit, but watch this. Tremendous effort again by Isaiah Pete. Runs through the tackle of Tom Wharton. Now there's Colares out blocking, but watch Pete run him over. Boom! And he gets the penalty. Oh, no, that had to be 19 coming in late, though, didn't it?
That was a heck of a blow delivered.
Demontre Hurst. Yeah, he said 3, but that was on 19. But Jonathan Nelson, great first half. Struggling a little bit here in the second half, but Isaiah Peed, Mark.
Close into the end zone. Incomplete. No flag on the play, albeit a little bit of contact. Aaron Colvin in on the coverage, but Bob, after watching Colaros on that last play, we knew why he came up smiling. It was after that block. He felt pretty good about himself after that.
That's the way they do it down Steubenville now. You know,
Steubenville, 43 seconds to go. Third quarter. Colaros, little hand walk, but they're going to say his knee touched back at the 14-yard line, but he still picks up 6.
As Isaiah Peed, though, energized this football team. I mean, they're a different team with this kid on the field.
A career-high 19 rushing attempts so far in the game. 3rd and 5 coming up. Down by just 12. And Colaros put it on the ground and fumbles it out of bounds. All the way back near the 30. The All-American candidate, Jeremy Beal. Who else there to apply the pressure?
Yeah, and I'm not so sure if I'm going to run a bootleg pass that I'm going to bootleg towards number 44, Jeremy Beal. But it does set up the field goal right here. But a great opportunity for Cincinnati. Stay away from Jeremy Beal. Don't bootleg to number 44 now.
You don't need the scouting report in hand to know that. And that's the end of the third quarter of play. The Bearcats very much alive. The family trying to stick together. The Bearcats trying to get it done when we come back. Back for the start of the fourth quarter between Cincinnati and Oklahoma. And the Sooners leading it by 12, but Cincinnati with an opportunity to slice into that lead. Jake Rogers going to attempt a field goal from 43 yards away here. He's already connected tonight from this distance and also from 22 yards out.
He's had 4 field goals blocked in his career.
Rogers nails this one to cut the deficit to just 9 points with an entire quarter to play. Well, we've been saying his name all night. Look who almost blocks this one. Nelson.
Yeah, he has had an active night, hasn't he?
He and DJ Woods for Cincinnati have filled up the highlight reels you might see on SportsCenter tonight. Talked about the night that Nelson has had in the first half, running down Woods to save a touchdown. Not once, but twice, and causing a fumble on the second one, and then an interception in the end zone to thwart another touchdown.
We're going to show the Bengal biting him. Oh, we got him.
He blew a tire.
The shoe came out. I hate to even show this. I hate to even show this because he never really got in a football position right there. But I'll tell you what, he's not going anywhere. I love the competitiveness of this guy right here. Out of Arlington, Texas. They have to love this cool weather too, right? Yeah. From Oklahoma up here to Cincinnati. And I mean, yesterday it's 94 degrees. Tonight it's beautiful now.
Bearcats in their home away from home, 4.5 miles from Nippert Stadium, where they usually play their whole games, as we check in with home base. Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thank you. By most measures, it's the toughest test Boise State has left on its schedule. On ABC tonight against Oregon State, Boise State had a 7-0 lead. That is until James Rogers took matters into his own hands, traveling 53 yards on a punt return, all tied up 7 at the end of the first quarter. Mark?
Hey, Mike Riley's crew doing a nice job there. Back here, Landry Jones on a little bootleg. Caught, but is it complete? They're going to rule it complete at the 41-yard line to the freshman, Kenny Stills. What a catch for 21 yards.
I know, great for a freshman to toe that sideline like that. And they're going to get up there and snap it quick because they don't want this reviewed. That is a tremendous effort by a freshman out of San Diego.
He's working on Chris Williams, and they're going to look at it. Doesn't matter how quickly you get to the line of scrimmage that time.
You asked me a little earlier, am I buying the stock
Landry Jones?
of Landry Jones? Did you see that throw on the run?
Added 10 pounds of muscle this year. Organized 7-on-7 throwing drills with his wide receiver during the offseason. It's really helped to improve his chemistry and his leadership skills.
And what's really helped too, the emergence of Kenny Stills. Look at that throw. But to take the pressure off of Ryan Broyles, that's a catch. That's a catch.
Sure was.
And it was ruled a catch on the field.
After further review, ruling on the field is confirmed.
That's big time play.
First down.
And credit these Big 12 officials and replay guys. They roll through those replays now. It doesn't take them long.
Talked about head coach Stoops comparing him to Jason White. When you play the quarterback position, Bob, at Oklahoma, you could compare it to some very, very big time quarterbacks.
Yeah, those fans
Cream of the
have
crop.
been spoiled.
Yeah.
You throw a couple incompletions, I mean, they're down on you.
6 national championships won with 5 different quarterbacks. Little middle screen, and Broyles got rocked at the 43. Bearcats bringing the wood too, and Malik Bomar. Gain of 2 on the play.
Look at all those quarterbacks. All the different quarterbacks they've won championships with. Right there, you don't see any of them there for 3 years now. Josh Heupel right there on the sidelines.
Give me the Barry Switzer days with Jamel Holloway.
It's a long way from that wishbone, but they're still winning.
2nd and 9. Murray with the catch after juggling it. And pushed out of bounds at the 42-yard line by Lambert. A lot going on the sidelines tonight. That's as much of the story as on the field. Some of the intensity written on the coaches' faces.
There's a bunch of people want to trade in and get those striped jerseys, huh? A bunch of people trying to make calls tonight.
Meanwhile, for Jones, that was the 31st completion tonight for him, a career high. Jones working his magic on 3rd and long again. Complete at the 44 to Miller. And they moved the chains after the pickup of 13.
A great job by Landry Jones of stepping up in the pocket. Look, he gets pressure from the outside, steps up and drills it to his newfound favorite guy. Huh?
And another completion here to his tight end, Trent Rettery. Rettery with the catch, gains 8 yards. Ball at Cincinnati's 38. Murray on 2nd and 4. Brought down by Walter Stewart. Gain of about 1 on the play. Well, we talked about the inordinate amount of snaps the defense took against North Carolina State. Maybe not quite as bad so far tonight. 3rd and 3. Murray close to the first down. Tackle by Wolf and Romar. They're going to give him the first down.
Yeah, they're going to get some substitutes in there for Cincinnati. You see Wolf going off the field, Hughes going off the field. Depth is an issue for this Cincinnati football team.
Moses Madu takes the handoff and falls down about a yard behind the line of scrimmage. Jordan Stepp making the play. One of the guys rotating in on the line.
In depth, because you change coaches as frequently as Cincinnati has changed coaches, from Mark D'Antonio to Brian Kelly to Butch Jones, the recruiting is what gets hurt. You're still going to get some guys, but the overall depth of your football team is affected because of lack of continuity.
Jones picked off at the 30-yard line by Schaefer.
They will not fall off the cliff, and this crowd has to appreciate the effort by this Cincinnati defense. I mean, when it looks like they are ready to cave and crumble, they've been able to step up.
Take one more look at Schaefer's interception.
Oh.
He used all of his body on that one.
Oh, J.K. Schaefer one-hands it to himself. They will not quit, Mark. They will not quit.
A lot of football to go. 1st and 10. Claro sets up the screen. Pede got a nice block. Isaiah on the loose. 1st down at the 44 for Cincinnati. A 16-yard gain.
Should we say momentum swing?
It sure has been. Pede, a gaping hole again. Oh. And he got hit and brought down at the 41 by Tony Jefferson.
That's a
15-yard gain.
Great individual plays in this football game. This offensive line has been maligned, but Isaiah Pede energizes everybody. And the hit by Tony Jefferson. Now, he doesn't know how to finish the tackle yet because he's just a young guy, but wow.
Again, up the middle. This time it's Gable. Wendy, we have a great game going on here. What's coming up next?
More football to be played. It's the Big East versus the SEC. Geno Smith and number 22 West Virginia get set to face off against number 15 LSU. That game coming up when we're finished here.
About 10.5 minutes to go, Wendy, here. 9-point deficit facing Cincinnati. Colaros keeps it himself on the decide option. Brought down at about the 37 by Tony Jefferson, the freshman again. Now some Oklahoma players defensively with their hands on their hips.
Interesting call right here. 3rd and 5. You think you're in 4-down territory right here. So how do I make 5 yards in 2 plays? Do I give it to Isaiah Pede? I don't think Pede is in the game.
They're going to pass it. Up top, has a man. Touchdown, Bearcats. DJ Woods. The extra point good. And Cincinnati has made this a 2-point game. DJ Woods with his 4th touchdown catch this season, the 8th of his career. And Cincinnati making a little noise. This may not be their home in a literal sense, but for the Bearcats, they've made it the crib right now. This feels like home. They got a lot of bounce in their step if they've cut this Oklahoma lead to just 2 points, courtesy of DJ Woods' reception a few moments ago. He has 171 receiving yards tonight, a career high, and this is as close as the Bearcats have been since they were trailing 3-0. Madu taking it out. Out to the 17. Bob, one more look at what was the key on that touchdown.
Well, you're going to watch as this thing rolls, and then we're going to freeze it. Watch number 20, Quentin Carter, the free safety right here. There's Quentin Carter. He's kind of reading the quarterback's eyes. That leaves number 1, Tony Jefferson, all alone on the other side. See Tony Jefferson, the freshman now, he's looking back at the quarterback too much because DJ Woods was behind him. But that was 3rd and 5. Another big play against this Oklahoma defense. And this crowd right now is as good as it gets. This is an SEC environment right now in Paul Brown Stadium.
$58,000 plus sound pretty good to those guys in black on the sideline. 2nd and 10 coming up. Giordano, the sack leader for the Bearcats defensively, applying the heat on Jones at quarterback.
We have to go back. J.K. Schaefer. That one-hand interception was key because Oklahoma about to put it away on that last series.
Murray between the tackles picked up about 4 on the play. It'll be 3rd and about 6 to go.
Go back to last year. Oklahoma 5 losses, all on the road. This is their first away game this season tonight.
Jones out of the shotgun. Murray on the catch. Swarmed. And it's 4th down. The Bearcats rise up.
I'm just enjoying this atmosphere. I remember when Cincinnati was not even on the map in college football. This place is electric in here. This is good for college football and great for the city of Cincinnati now.
Antonio and then Brian Kelly, and now under the stewardship of Jones, 4th and 8. Tressway punting from his own end zone. Woods, a gambling man tonight, Bob Davie. But in great starting field position. Zach Caleros trying to lead them down the field when we come back.
ESPN's College Football Primetime. Brought to you by Kingsford Charcoal. The best thing about watching the game at home is that you own the concession stand. The ultimate tailgate starts with Kingsford. Tailgate at home.
Cincinnati Bearcats trying to slay the big bad Crimson and Cream beasts out of the Big 12. Down by just 2 points. 1st down and 10 from Oklahoma's 44-yard line. This is their best starting field position of the night. And Oklahoma, well, they have a history of struggling on the road going back to last year. Isaiah Pede beside the quarterback, Claros, and he gets the call. And Pede with a nice carry, gain of about 5 on the play, brought down by Lewis.
He just seems to be playing at a different speed. You agree? You sit here and watch this live. I mean, Isaiah Pede just looks a step faster than everybody on that field.
Missed the 2nd game of the season against Indiana State and played sparingly in their last game against North Carolina State, both because of injury. Pete again trying to make a play. This time met by a host of tacklers at the 43-yard line. He'll lose a couple. Chris Berman is your host, folks, for ESPN's 2-hour pregame show, Sunday NFL Countdown. Tom Jackson, Keyshawn Johnson, Mike Ditka, and a bunch of others talking some NFL football. Sunday NFL Countdown presented by IBM on ESPN Sunday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And Travis Lewis is the player shaken up for the Oklahoma Sooners down in the field. 3rd down and 9, 7:14 to go. A loss of 4 on that last play.
This guy right here is the leader of that defense. But, you know, we talk about Oklahoma's road woes last year. We talk about they've looked vulnerable in their 2 wins this year against Utah State and Air Force. They blew Florida State out. But keep in mind, they won those 2 games. They beat Utah State in a tough game. They beat Air Force in a tough game. They've been in this situation before. So Cincinnati has all the momentum. But Oklahoma has been here before now.
Bob Stoops really said after that Air Force win it was a 3-point victory. I'm not worried about it because we'll never face a wishbone team that is that proficient at it again this year. Here's a look at their upcoming schedule.
Yeah, I mean, what jumps out at you? The Red River rivalry. I'm going to say that slow next week. And then after that, pretty good. Iowa State, Missouri, Colorado, but going to College Station. And a much improved A&M team. Texas Tech at home at Oklahoma State. But it's all about the Bearcats right now.
3rd and 9. Got to get to about the 34-yard line for a first down. Laros, backside pressure, a little fumble. Ball came loose. Bryce Macon made the hit to knock the ball loose, and Oklahoma has the football.
Talk about depth of a football team. Bryce Macon
and Jeremy Beal, Bob, the guy that jumped on the loose ball,
comes up with a big play. Look at 94 at the top. Just a great effort. Comes around the horn right there, strips that football. As we know, every play is reviewed. They'll see if his arm was coming forward. But the depth of this Oklahoma defensive line. The guy steps up.
On the field is fumble recovered by the defense. First down.
A costly turnover by Caleros. That's the 3rd turnover.
I think that's going to stay a fumble, don't you?
Yeah.
I didn't see that hand coming forward in any kind of forward motion. No, that's going to stay a fumble and a recovery by Oklahoma. But
Randy Martinez, meanwhile, Bob, starting left guard for Cincinnati, taken off the field, and Beal getting on the phone. Coach is upstairs. Beal the leader defensively. 3rd turnover for Cincinnati.
See if this Cincinnati defense can hang in. Hang in there again. Get that football back.
Murray tackled after a gain of about 2 or just got back to the line of scrimmage. Wolf made the stop on the play.
Boy, that was a great play by Derek Wolf, that defensive tackle.
Jones wide open at midfield. That's the freshman Stills working against Cheatham. That's going to be a Sooner first down on a pickup of 17. First and 10. Murray. And Murray gains a few. Stopped by Giordano and Romar.
Interesting. Oklahoma still in the no huddle.
I was going to ask you, at what point do you think about using a little clock?
I think you use it right now, but you don't want to break your rhythm. I mean, they're used to a more up-tempo, but just look, there's 22 seconds left on the 40-second clock. I think you run that clock down a little more, personally.
Pass incomplete, dropped by Murray. How do you suddenly switch gears to go to a slower tempo?
That's the concern. That's the concern, where you break your own rhythm on offense by slowing the process down. And that's what's going through Bob Stoops' mind right now. But another big 3rd down right here.
They hand it off to Murray. And nobody home. The defense making a big play for the Bearcats, and 4th down for the Sooners. Walter Stewart, the first one to get there, along with Giordano.
And you know, this Cincinnati defense last year in the Sugar Bowl season won games 47-45, 45-44. Florida had 700 yards on them in the Sugar Bowl. They've gotten beaten up early in the season. They have to be extremely proud of how hard they've played, Mark. They have given them a chance to beat Oklahoma tonight by just hanging in there.
Their defensive coordinator, Tim Banks, coaching them up. Woods back for the fair catch. Dangerously. Looks like Woods may have gotten it back. They're saying Sooner football. Oklahoma has the ball, 1st and goal. A crucial error by DJ Woods.
Looked like James Hanna, number 82, wrestled that football away from DJ Woods. What? Just misjudged it. Watch Hanna right there. Yanks it out of there.
Boy, that's long after the whistle. You got to fight even after that whistle, don't you? Oklahoma ball when we come back.
You're looking at a live picture of number 22 West Virginia at number 15 LSU. This game is underway on ESPN Classic. We will take you there as soon as we have a winner in Cincinnati. Right now, though, Mark Jones, back to you.
All right, Wendy, they're looking at a short field, the Sooners are. After the turnover on the punt return, 1st down and goal from the 8-yard line.
It's all about holding them to a field goal. Cincinnati hold them to a field goal.
This defense has been stout in the second half for the most part. Murray cuts it back inside, down to the 5. That might have been the most time they used on the play clock all night, Bob. There's Woods, who fumbled a punt moments ago, which gave Oklahoma a great field position.
Love his competitiveness. I mean, he's had a tough night. Now, he's made some big plays, too.
Jones, touchdown Sooners. Millard with the catch. And another Cincinnati player shaken up just moments after DJ Woods was helped off the field. Let's take a look back at our protection spotlight, brought to you by Castrol GTX. Colaros turning it over here, although that offensive line has done a pretty good job tonight protecting him, but that play really hurt.
Yeah, 2 big momentum changers, and you can see those guys right there. Their momentum has been changed now. Those 3 guys standing right there, and you have to feel terrible for DJ Woods. This is a competitive young guy. You know, he's out of Pasadena, California. They were telling us yesterday, wasn't recruited. Remember, they said he sent a tape to Cincinnati's football office. They liked what they saw, offered a young man a scholarship, but you can't question his effort. He plays hard. But also, he had the ball punched out.
Yeah, by Nelson.
By Jonathan Nelson.
Wesley Richardson is the player that was shaken up on the sidelines a few moments ago.
But you know, you play a very difficult Oklahoma, difficult non-conference schedule. Utah State can throw the football around. Florida State, Air Force, winning those close games. Games some fans may think you should blow the teams out. That helped Oklahoma get ready for this game now.
And Stevens in for the extra point for the Sooners. Makes it a 9-point game. You know, they talk about family at Cincinnati, and that's what Coach Jones is trying to preach there now. And this is the moment where you need teammates to get in your ear, console you a little bit, and offer you encouragement. I can only imagine those are the words that are falling upon the ears of DJ Woods right now. It's a question of how receptive he wants to be to it.
You know, that is a great shot right there. Jason Kelsey, the offensive center, over there talking to DJ Woods. I mean, really, that is a great shot, isn't it?
Still 4.5 minutes to go.
And I'll tell you what, DJ Woods back here on this kickoff return, you will see a tremendous effort by DJ Woods.
He's going to get a chance to return this one from the 7. DJ Woods. Out to the 25 as we check in with Wendy in the studio.
Thank you, Mark. Number 12, South Carolina at number 17, Auburn. The first meeting between these two schools when both are ranked. Cam Newton from a yard out. That pulls it within 6. 2014 South Carolina at the half.
Well, we saw Lattimore a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
He is one of the top freshmen running backs.
Steve Spurrier. Ooh. Ground and pound offense. Just handing it off to Lattimore.
No, we'd never say that. Huh?
Yeah.
First down and 10 for quarterback Zach Collaros of Cincinnati. Down by 9. Looked like a busted pattern right there by his receiver Marcus Barnett. And it'll be second down and 10.
Marcus Barnett, they call him Bones. Played a lot as a freshman, 62 catches as a freshman, then disappeared into that doghouse. Now he's back out of the doghouse now. Made a commitment.
You can tell why they call him Bones, Bob. Rather lithe. 173 pounds.
Big challenge for Cincinnati pass protection now.
Laros over the middle. Incomplete at the 44-yard line. Intended for DJ Woods. Well, the chase for NASCAR Sprint Cup continues Sunday. Overall points leader Danny Hamlin races for his 7th victory of the season. The chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup at Dover on ESPN Sunday at 1 o'clock Eastern Time. Third down and 10 coming up for Cincinnati. And Woods having a tough night holding his arm.
You better put a running back with the offensive tackle on Jeremy Beal, 44 right here.
Laros escapes, but there's a flag thrown. Barnett makes the catch at the 48-yard line. We'll see if this play stands. It's going to be a hold against Cincinnati.
Big 66 Samuel Griffin trying to block Price Macon, 94, who had the big sack caused fumble on Collaros. Boy, they just keep coming up with defensive linemen, Oklahoma, don't they?
Put the heat on you. Meanwhile, for Cincinnati, you know, Bob, we talked about Oklahoma's non-conference schedule. Cincinnati has played a very daunting non-conference schedule to start the season too. At Fresno State, at North Carolina State. We saw North Carolina State today. They're a pretty good-looking football team.
Right. Beat Georgia Tech today. And keep an eye on 56 Ronell Lewis, another rusher in there right now for Oklahoma.
3rd and 20. Fumble on the sack, but recovered by the Bearcats. And as you mentioned, Bob, it was Ronell Lewis.
I'll tell you, this guy right here now, when he hits you, you stay hit. He's the guy I was telling you played 8-man football until his senior year, I think, Dewar, Oklahoma.
You ever recruited there?
No, I haven't.
Maybe you should have, huh?
But I'll tell you something. There's just certain guys that have the genetics to strike you, and he's one of those guys now. He will hit you.
There's a reason why his teammates affectionately call him the Hammer. Broyles back for this punt. And watches it bounce by him at the, well, down to the 36-yard line for Cincinnati. 2:52 to go. And what a day it's been for DJ Woods. I guess you can say the D is for devastating, then J for jarring in DJ Woods as he experienced both. And then the turnover on the punt.
And, you know, we talk about stress with coaches. How about the stress players are under? Now, you talk about a guy like DJ Woods in a city like Cincinnati tonight. How many people are going to be down on DJ Woods?
Now, we're in a pro stadium, but these are teenage and young men emotions that we're dealing with as we go back to Wendy in the studio.
Mark, thank you very much. And we go back to the Smurf Turf. Boise State hosting Oregon State. Keep an eye on Kellen Moore. He's keeping his eye on Titus Young, and that is a 44-yard reception. Boise State looking good, 24-10, 3 minutes to go in the half.
And DJ Woods back here, Wendy, almost inconsolable on the sidelines. Bob, how many times as a coach would you get a player coming into your office and asking different questions, dealing with some of the depressing moments that come along with being a student athlete and trying to make it in big-time college football?
Yeah, I mean, Mark, that's another point about stress. I mean, as a head college coach, you wear a lot of hats, and each one of those hats are very important. And you know, being a counselor is a big part of it. You know, whether a guy is not playing up to his potential that he did in high school. You know, when it comes on the heels this week of what Kenny McKinley, South Carolina former wide receiver of the Denver Broncos. I mean, that's real. The stress and the pressure these young guys feel is real. And that's why those teammates, and that's why that family system you build around these guys is so important.
And a lot of times you try and provide professional help for some of your student athletes,
you do.
correct?
And I think what you do, you know you're not a professional when it comes to things like depression and things. And I'm not saying that's the point DJ Woods is at, but you get them in the hands of the proper people on campus, the counselors, their advisors that are on these college campuses. But there's a lot of pressure on these young guys, a lot of expectations.
DJ Woods distraught on the sidelines.
Great thing. What do they have, 8 more games on their schedule? DJ Woods will bounce back now. He's a competitive guy.
3rd and 7. Boy, that defense still with its motor going. Number 40, John Hughes with a stop on DeMarco Murray, and still a lot of football to be played for the Bearcats. They called timeout, and hey, they can still make a lot of noise in the Big East Conference.
Hey, you're exactly right. I mean, the Big East right now, look down that schedule and say, okay, who's a great team in the Big East? I mean, Louisville struggling, South Florida struggling, Syracuse, West Virginia, the most talented team in the league, Rutgers, Connecticut, and Pittsburgh. So they have Miami of Ohio coming in. Miami of Ohio got beat badly today. So for DJ Woods in Cincinnati, there's still an awful lot of football left. And this guy, he's 1-3. Tremendous expectations here at Cincinnati. But, I mean, they're a good football team. They show flashes of being really a good team, particularly with Isaiah Peed back.
Got a healthy running back making things happen. Butch Jones's team with a bright future for the rest of the year. Reuben Johnson back at the 16-yard line replacing DJ Woods. And Johnson watching it bounce down to the 20-yard line.
What's he doing?
They're going to say that it was touched.
Yeah, get away from it.
I think the official disagrees.
I think that's another way of saying get away from it right there. Look.
They've had some issues on special teams tonight. Cincinnati nestled here in the midst of a huge metropolis like so many other campuses around the country. Georgia Tech, another one that's kind of shoehorned in. The stadium, actually, Stadium is shoehorned in there in Atlanta. Pitt, kind of the same setting, along with University of Houston. And Bob, respective pros and cons when it comes along to dealing with schools in an urban environment like that.
Yeah, I think the cons are you have to win, because in a pro market town fighting for those entertainment dollars, you have to win or the fans aren't going to show up.
Pass complete. You talk about the Bengals play right here in this stadium. The Cincinnati Reds vying for a playoff position. Vince making the catch. Laros completes that one to Barnett.
Mark, pros and cons with everything. I mean, the pro part of it, you get a chance to experience big city living. That's where all the NFL teams are. You get a chance to experience big city media if you go on to the next level and play. So, there's a trade-off with everything.
Well, you've done it from, what, Pitt to College Station, right?
Exactly. Exactly. But, a lot of times you look at Butch Jones, I mean, all of a sudden people start to think, hey, the magic's gone from Cincinnati because they're starting out 1-3. Hey, the magic's still here for this football team. Just be patient because they've got very winnable games coming up.
Under 2 minutes to go. Collaros going up top. Wow. And what a catch. Boy, twisting around is McClung. Anthony McClung picking up 20 yards.
Yeah, they told us some true freshman receivers were going to play tonight because they don't have much depth. Anthony McClung, wow, that's body control.
Collaros looking downfield again. That one incomplete at about the 18-yard line. Well, Coach Jones said that we have a lot of guys last year that were riding on the bus. We need them now to start driving that bus, Bob. They may not have made it to the front to take the steering wheel, but they took a couple steps up towards the front tonight.
Yeah, what you're saying, they can build on this game. They can build tonight on this game, even though they don't win. And I hope the fans that are here, and I think they are very appreciative of this effort.
2nd and 10. Collaros going to throw again into the end zone. And incomplete, intended for Barnett. Colvin in on the coverage for Oklahoma.
But you talk about, again, the urban school. And you mentioned it, how the facilities are shoehorned in because there's just no space. But Cincinnati's done a tremendous job with their facilities. They really have. You think of how far this program has come. It's exciting.
Nippert Stadium and Shoemaker Center where the basketball teams play, and Marchot Field over the baseball team. Third and 10. Complete underneath. Short of the first down. McClung with another catch working against Colvin. Picks up 6. And 4th down. Obviously going to go for it.
Obviously no timeouts.
This play might say a lot about how they want to sign off on the rest of the season. And that's a good indication if you're Coach Jones for Cincinnati. McClung converts on the first down. A 7-yard gain.
This is impressive. It's impressive. And if you're Oklahoma and you're an Oklahoma fan, you still look vulnerable. I mean, you don't come out of this football game any different than you felt going in defensively. They've given up 442 yards tonight.
Collaros eluding trouble. Wide open in the flat. To the tight end, number 88, Robinson. Touchdown. Hey. It didn't appear initially as if he got in.
Yeah, that's obviously going to be reviewed. I didn't think he got in the end zone with that football.
Neither does Bob Stoops. Hey, there's still about a minute to play. An 18-yard catch and run by Adrian Robinson.
Boy, and look at Zach Collaros. This is going to be reviewed, obviously. Let's take a look at big Adrian right here.
Still in bounds.
I think he's going to be in bounds. I just think he's short of the goal line. Yeah, he's out before that ball reached that. Now, you can't tell exactly by that angle. Right there, the left foot's out. That's clearly short. Mark, that may be a yard short.
Or more.
The left foot is out of bounds. We'll freeze it.
It's probably out at about the
Watch
3.
the left foot. Right there, that foot's out. That football is what, the one, right there?
It's going to be an interesting spot.
I think it's at the 1 yard line. Yeah, I think it's the 1 yard line.
Nice run after the catch by Adrian Robinson, who's filling in for Ben Gaduli, their starting tight end, who was out with an injury. They expect him back next week, though. This play under review.
Yeah, 58 seconds, no timeouts left for Cincinnati.
Well, if they can get a score and an onside kick.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands.
They're going to score it. Keep it a touchdown. They get credit for the touchdown.
Yeah, they ruled it a touchdown on the field. They ruled there was not conclusive evidence to overturn it. Now it's all about the onside kick. Because a field goal, an onside kick and a field goal, Cincinnati wins this football game.
And you think back to the extra point that they missed earlier.
And they have a strong kicker now.
Extra point good, and now the focus goes to special teams. And you think back about what Coach Butch Jones talked to us about earlier, Bob, in our meetings. He said you define your program by your special teams. A big defining special teams moment coming up here on the onside kick.
Just looking ahead, Jacob Rogers, the kicker, has had a 55-yard field goal as a freshman against Oregon State. But what an incredible football game. You talk about, we showed DJ Woods over there, total dejection on the sidelines. Cincinnati just keeps fighting and keeps playing. And where's Oklahoma's confidence on defense as we head into either a successful onside kick or next week against Texas?
They can't use the excuse about a wishbone this week, right? Forget coming up, it's West Virginia and LSU, but still the end of this story hasn't been written. Let's see who comes out and kicks the onside kick. It's going to be Jake Rogers.
Always interesting who's on your hands team. Oklahoma, Ronell Lewis, 56, the guy we talked about, who's a linebacker, is on this hands team, along with a lot of receivers, tight end type guys.
He's got to go 10 yards. Rogers. And they blow it dead.
Yeah, Oklahoma probably called timeout.
Timeout, Oklahoma. First charge of the second half. 30 seconds.
Can you ice a guy on an onside kick?
I don't think it's icing, but I think it's about figuring out what their plan is.
Okay. Now, if you're Coach Butch Jones, what are you saying to your team there on the sidelines about trying to execute this onside kick?
Yeah, this is what you've practiced over and over again for this scenario right here. And the question always is, do you go to plan B? You may have had plan A, and all of a sudden Oklahoma calls that timeout, so you go to your next bag of onside kicks.
And if you're Oklahoma and you do survive this, are you still vulnerable, as we alluded to at the top of the show?
You know what? Just survive it right now.
That's
right.
What matters.
If you're Oklahoma, that's all you care about. Let's recover this onside kick. Let's worry about being vulnerable. Let's worry about Texas tomorrow. Let's just recover this onside kick.
Rogers again. Kicks it short this time. Loose. And Oklahoma recovers the ball.
Boy, that was very well executed by Jacob Rogers.
Little misdirection.
Yeah, he went with the middle onside kick. And once that ball goes 10 yards, you're allowed to block those Oklahoma receivers. Take a look at this. It's just a squib middle. Ooh. Did Oklahoma touch that ball before it went 10?
Like a Sooner player, number 85, Ryan Broyles, was in the area.
Well, I guess it had already gone 10. That was a very well executed.
Cincinnati out of timeouts, too. Well, the first time these two programs met was a couple of years ago down in Norman, and Oklahoma won it 56-28. This meeting much more competitive.
And I think the last time Oklahoma played in Ohio was 1977. They beat Ohio State on a last-second field goal. And there is DJ Woods.
It's going to be an agonizing evening and perhaps beyond for him. It was his fumbled punt that led to an Oklahoma score in the fourth quarter.
You see the potential of this Oklahoma football team, though, don't you?
Yeah.
A lot of talented players.
Final score is going to be 31-29 as the Sooners improve to 4-0. Cincinnati falling to 1-3. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. There's thrill of winning and agony. Now to Ron Franklin and Ed Cunningham in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.